All right, I think we're here. I think we're at Curmudgeon's Corner 18, live from Phoenix Lair in somewhere New Jersey. We're here with Major Trainwreck. Everybody knows Major Trainwreck from his exploits on the archery field and whatnot. Thanks everybody for showing up. There's so many things to be done on a Saturday night, and you guys decided to hang out with us. So truly honored for everybody to be here. We just kind of kill time a little bit for everybody to wander in. Eric, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate you being here. Looks like we got some of the regular crowd walking in. I see a cat guy, Mark, is here. Humberto, first from Puerto Rico. Tim from Shine Your Lights here. Very good. We got 7 folk in here. Who else is? Oh, there's Miller Detailing. Rich Smith. Good to see both you guys. Ryan Mulhern. Thank you for showing up, you guys. I so appreciate everybody always being here all the time. I've been experimenting with this StreamYard stuff to get this little background music. I don't know if it's annoying or distracting, but I figured we'd give it a spin and see what happens with it. What do you guys think? How's everybody feeling tonight? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, but I can hear that music. Even when there's a lag, I can still.
You just dropped out, man. Trainwreck's been having a little bit of technical difficulties tonight, but we're going to try to push through it, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe hopefully things will work itself out. 5x5. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate that. Sounds like elevator music. Yeah. So I think last time we tried it, I had the little rock beat going on, and I thought that was a lot better. It just kind of fills in the gaps of space when restart the Wi-Fi, he says. Hey, Nacho Man's in the house. Good to see you. Nacho Man was with us last week. Had some really good insight, and I think it was a good show. Superado, good to see you guys. We're starting to really pile in. Make sure everybody hits that like button for me. I don't really know what it does other than hopefully gets more views, because I think these past couple of shows leading up to Christmas are going to be really important for a lot of people. We are in the middle of the Pay It Forward campaign. This is week 3. We got 2 more weeks to go, I think, before the deadline of Christmas Day. For anybody that isn't not aware of the Pay It Forward campaign, the Phoenix Rise from the Ashes, 2nd annual Pay It Forward campaign. We have a lot of gifts and donations that are coming in that are detail related. And the idea is that everybody and anybody can nominate somebody that could really use maybe a helping hand or kind of a bump in the shoulder over the holiday seasons to kind of get themselves moving in the right direction. Maybe they're down on their luck. Maybe they're just starting out, new entrepreneurs. Sons nominating fathers, fathers nominating sons, husbands nominating wives, and so on and so on and so forth. A guy down the street just starting out could really use a helping hand. The chairman of the Pay It Forward campaign, Rich. Yeah, I know it does. It's Eric. I think it's your internet. You may have to reset it. So anyway, the idea is I lost my train of thought. Sorry. So Ryan, who is the chairman of the Pay It Forward campaign, he has a pretty incredible story of coming up from picking himself up from his bootstraps. There's a lot of friends in this chat group, in this community that have all done that. Al, good to see you. Glad that you're here. And this is our way of basically taking care of each other. If you know somebody who needs a helping hand, feel free at info@phoenixeod.com to give them a nomination and say, hey, and this is the reason why we think that this person kind of needs a leg up. again, Trainwreck's been having a little bit of technical difficulties. We're going to see if we can't get that squared away shortly. I think that there's a lot of really cool things that my brother Trainwreck can really shed a lot of light on. There you go. All right, so right out of the gate, I think one of the things that I don't think that I nearly talked enough about in the last couple of episodes is, there are so many people that are hurting out there, and nobody knows what they're going through. HM, good to see you. Nobody knows what you're going through, what the battle that you are waging against yourself on the inside. You can look through. I think I was just talking to somebody about Chris Cornell from Audioslave, Soundgarden. He killed himself, suffered from depression and whatnot, and then shortly thereafter, his very good friend from Linkin Park ended up killing himself for that same reason. And you look at somebody like Robin Williams, who has had so much success and so many fans, and everybody loved him, and he was independently wealthy and a comedy icon, and yet he also succumbed to a mental disease, that is depression. So I think that especially during the holidays, it's really, really, really important that we reflect on that and are basically awareness. I'm wearing this T-shirt, "Keep Moving Forward." I bought it from the Valhalla Project. The Valhalla Project, obviously, it's like a Wounded Warrior project, but they are trying to bring awareness to the world of how many veterans kill themselves every single day. Wounded warriors, veterans, people that are going through just tremendous amount of mental anguish, and I think that if there's enough people acknowledging that, and even in our community, there's guys in our community that hurt really, really bad, and that they just need to know that we have their back. And I think that that's one of the greatest things that we have as a community here, in this detailing world, this family that I like to call you guys family. Yeah, Tim, I agree. I think that some of the funniest comedians are the most depressed, and that's usually their outlet. They cope with their anguish and whatever the trauma that they've gone through. I think they cope with it through usually self-depreciating humor. Like, they make fun of themselves and stuff like that. And yeah, I think it's a coping mechanism. Yeah, I think he left to go figure out how to restart his internet connection. So anyway, that was like, even whether or not Trainwreck's able to come back, and I would love to, I would love to hear his take on things. One of the things that Nacho Man and I touched on last week was that you don't know who you can inspire, and you don't know who's looking up to you. There could be a younger guy that you're working with. I know when I was a much younger man working in construction, there were a couple of guys that I really looked up to. This one guy, Chris, he had such a beautiful outlook on life, and he had an amazing relationship with his wife, and I learned a lot from him, just kind of watching him and seeing how he behaved and how he carried himself. And you never know who you can or are inspiring. Nacho Man said that that my faith in him, it gave him the encouragement to start doing detailing, and I had no idea about that. That happened behind the scenes without my knowledge, and I'm so blessed that I was able to be that for him. I really, this is a special time for me at Phoenix, during the Pay It Forward campaign between Thanksgiving and Christmas. That it's a good reminder for all of us in the community, that we can still be doing good, as a group, maybe not by yourself, but together as a group. The donations, the nominations that come in, we're able to really pay it forward. And that's what I really want. I know that for me personally, and I don't need to get into the weeds. You guys have heard my story 100,000 times. Yep. He just restarted his internet. That I'm here today because there was faith in me, belief in me, people that loved me and could see my potential, took a chance on me. And I think that in one way or another, it's probably happened to all of us. So I honestly, I wasn't prepared to do this solo. I am not much of a solo guy. I find that in the morning, like morning radio, morning zoo, stuff like that. I think the most, I think the funniest shows that you can watch and whatnot usually have more than one person in there, and I find that one person morning shows are usually pretty dull. So I apologize for that, guys. I think that I'd like to really hear Trainwreck's perception and perspective on what he's been going through. I think we're coming up on 10 years since he won the gold medal in London. So that would have been September of 14, or maybe it was October of 14. So, we're like 9 years basically, or whatever. But he had his injury back in I want to say 2011, 2012. And then, his rise from the ashes, his Phoenix rose and won him the gold in London in archery at the Invictus Games. And I'd kind of like to know, one of the most incredible things that anyone has ever, that I ever heard anyone. I went to see this a friend of mine who's also a disabled veteran. He got blown up pretty hard overseas, and he's part of a rock band now. When they were introducing themselves, all the members of the band were introducing themselves. One of the captains, he said, everybody says that they die for their country. That's the real patriotic, I would die for my country. But he said, no one ever says I would be maimed for my country. And you never really think about that. And that was so profound for me, that, yeah, these brave men and women that get mulched over there, there's a lot that they bring home with them. And not just to them, but to their family members. Wives having to take care of their husbands now in a way that they never imagined. Husbands taking care of their wives that get mulched and come back, and they're taken care of in the ways that they never imagined. And it changes everything. It's not just like, there's mental scars as well as the physical scars, but yeah, exactly. I want to hear all that stuff, Humberto. I do. I want to hear all that stuff. So hopefully his technical difficulties get resolved and he gets back online soon. But anyway, there was just I get distracted pretty quickly. But yeah, it's the burden that comes on now. I remember, this is a horrible story. I was down at Walter Reed with Eric. Eric was after his injury in Africa. They flew him to Germany. From Germany, they brought him to the U.S. And he was in rehabilitation down at Walter Reed Medical Center for a long time. And being on the fourth floor, and that's where everybody. Yeah, Super Auto. I'm pretty sure it did ship. I will double check to make sure, but I thought it shipped already. You were a winner, and I will double check on your prize, Super Auto. Anyway, so we're on the fourth floor, and the fourth floor is where basically all the people that get really chewed up are getting their rehab and their surgeries and all of that stuff. And so we're on the 4th floor, and you meet a lot of people that are going through the same thing. That are going through the same thing that Eric was going through. And I remember there was a special forces guy, and he got chewed up pretty bad. And I want to say his wife left him on the spot. She went into his room. She saw him the way that he was chewed up, and she couldn't handle it, and she left him on the spot. And I can't imagine. Like, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not judging her. I'm not judging the situation. I don't know the situation, but you're not. All these people that are going through what they're going through, they're not going through it alone, and it doesn't just impact them. I know that for like, oh, hey there, I think my brother's back. Are you back? Are you back?
I think so.
I hear you. All right, I hear you. Can everybody hear him all right? Yeah, Nacho, you're right. It is wrong. It is wrong. But I you know, I can't imagine. I can't imagine, Nacho. I can't imagine on either side of the fence. I don't know. You know, who knows what her battles were going through. I don't know. Eric, I was talking to everybody about when you were at Walter Reed, and we were on the 4th floor, and there was that special forces guy down at the far end of the hall that got mulched pretty bad, and I don't know if it was his girlfriend or his wife or whatnot, but she left them right there on the spot because she just couldn't handle it. There's a lot of things that I bore witness to, and I can't judge her, and I can't judge the situation because I'm not in it, and there are some people that are stronger than others. I don't know. I remember when you took me to that dinner. I think I met the ambassador to Canada at that dinner. When you took me to that dinner, there was that guy that was a double leg amputee sitting in the wheelchair, and you could just see the anger that he was filled with anger for his situation, and he couldn't get past his situation. And again, we're talking about an internal battle that nobody but the person going through it can determine how the ending's going to be. And so basically, Eric, I appreciate you coming on the show. I'm glad that you were able to resolve some of your technical issues, because I think that even though you're my brother and that we talk pretty much every day, you know, through an IG, you know, GIF or meme or something, you know, raunchy or inappropriate. I don't know if we've ever really gotten into life after. And we're coming up on your 10-year anniversary or winning the gold medal, which would be next year, right? Next year, 2024, you won the gold medal in 14. So, you know, you've had quite a story arc from, you know, Eric the Terrible at Quantico High School to where you are right now. Not just an athlete, but also a coach. And I want to talk. I want you to tell us about, you know, like, I think you're an inspiration to so many people. I know that the people in this chat group, and like Richard Seam, for example, he probably emails me at least once a week, if not every 2 weeks, just to say, hey, tell your brother I said, you know, keep on keeping on. Like, you're his inspiration. You're definitely my inspiration. You know, we've gone over the whole, what's your excuse for skipping leg day? I want to know where your motivation comes from. And then I've been talking for 15 minutes. Go.
Well, that's kind of a big, long, heavy question. Like the first part where we're talking about Walter Reed, you know, and dealing with some of the situations there. I mean, you don't know what the relationships between people were prior to injury or prior to the deployment. Maybe a guy was a total jerk. Maybe they were looking at getting divorced beforehand. You just never know. But I will say that the reality of these traumatic injuries is is crazy. I knew it was a possibility. Growing up with Dad and hearing the stories and all the funerals that he went to for his buddies. Um, the reality of it is, it's a dangerous business that we do. And then certainly when we go off to war, things get more dangerous, and the stakes go way, way up. But you don't know until you know. I mean, you just you can imagine, you can watch, Saving Private Ryan or whatever 15 times and, see guys getting their legs blown off on the beach or whatever. And it's like, oh, wow, that sucks. But there's more than that. Like, what if, we get it. You die and you die. It's pretty finite, but it's like, okay, now you lost a leg. Now what? You lost two legs. Now what? In this most severe cases, you're burned all over your body. You're a paraplegic. You're, a quadruple amputee. It's crazy. It's, I'll tell you, Aaron, they did the dual limb salvage on my legs initially, and they failed. And, I had to have the big talks with the doc about amputating my right leg first below the knee. And I was in just constant pain and worried about addiction to pain meds. And, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stand. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't have my leg elevated. I couldn't have it down. There was no comfortable place. It was agony. It was unrelenting. And, I had to talk to the docs like, hey, you guys can cut my leg off, or I'm going to go to the hardware store and cut my leg off. And then you can try to save me from bleeding out on the backside. So what's it going to be? And really, it was that bad. I did say that to the doc. You can cut my leg off, or I will. Even going into that surgery, wanting desperately to be away from the pain, having talked to at least 50 guys that were single below the knee amputees, and all of them, to a man, said the only regret that they had was not amputating their leg sooner. I was ready. I thought I was ready. I wake up, I'm in the recovery room, I look down, and the blanket that's over my legs, there's only one set of toes sticking up. And I wasn't ready for it. The reality is, holy shit. You're committed. There's no buyer's remorse and none of that. You don't have time for that. It's over. So you got to make the best of it. That was an advantage.
How?
You don't give up. You start leaning on the guys that have been there before you. You have a good team around you. You have a good support network. And I'll tell you, I had a lot of advantages because Melissa was there and she loved me, and the kids were there and they tolerated me. Because I was a jerk. I was raging, but they still brought joy to my life, even though they had to walk on eggshells around me. And my faith, really, truly, my faith, and the support group that I had from church, and just the knowledge that had been given an opportunity that Kearns and Reyes weren't afforded. Those were the two crew chiefs that died in the crash. And somehow, especially when you look at some of the photos, you just wonder how anybody that was sitting up front made it out, and they did, and Jake did, and it would it would be a disservice to God. It would certainly be a disservice to Kearns and Reyes to give up, to fold, to quit. But it's a challenge. It's a scary thing. It's starting over, and I'll tell you, and I think I might have said it on this show before. As an adult, I've had to relearn how to walk 6 times. 6 times I've had to learn how to stand up and balance, and then take a step, and then take a follow-on step, and just like you watch a little kid learning how to walk. Fortunately, a lot of times, especially in the beginning, I had a set of parallel bars, or somebody that was walking with me, or the track that runs above your head that you're tied into. So if you do fall, you just kind of dangle there from a harness. But I mean, you do these things because, like, I would say the most guys that have made it through boot camp, there is no option to quit. There's no, well, whatever. So, and I'll tell you, and I brought this guy up before, Travis Mills. Really one of the toughest men I've ever met. He's a quadruple amputee. I was barely able to get into a wheelchair. The day that he was able to walk as a quadruple amputee, that's no arms and no legs, and he got blown up the day before I crashed. I mean, so less than 24 hours difference between injuries. Here's a guy with no arms and no legs getting up on his feet, walking around. I mean, you can't quit. You can't give up. It sucks. It's painful. It's frustrating, especially when you go in for the next surgery and it's going to be another amputation, or it's going to be the result of a setback or whatever, or the knee replacement's gone wrong. We're going to have to put in the spacer, and the infection's out of control. We're going to have to do this to you, do that to you. Go get your will ready. I mean, that was a reality check when Doc Mack came into my room and said, "Hey, the infection spread to your blood. I'm going to send legal down here." And I was like, "Oh yeah, for what?" And he was like, "So you can get your affairs in order." And I'm like, "What do you mean, like a will?" And he's like, "Yeah, like a will." And I was like, "Well, okay, so I got an infection. Maybe I don't understand things here." And he's like, "Yeah, well, this is how it works when it gets, this bacteria gets into your blood. It goes straight for your heart valves, and it colonizes there, and then it starts eating them, and then you go into heart failure, and there's no way to give you a new heart or to fix it because the infection's still there. So we've got to kill this bacteria, or it's going to kill you." And then later on, it was, "We're going to kill this bacteria, or it's going to kill you, or the medicine, the chemicals that we're going to introduce to your body are going to kill you." And I mean, so what do you do? I guess I could have let the MRSA kill me. I guess I could have let the medicine kill me. But I mean, the answer was like, well, let's get on with this thing. Let's get started. If it's going to kill me, it's going to kill me. Let's not drag this thing out. Let's just go and hit me with it. Fortunately, my kidneys didn't fail. My liver didn't shut down. And we beat the infection. We ended up still having to amputate my left leg above the knee. But, okay. I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still a father. I'm still a husband. Still a brother. Still a son. I still have work to do on this earth. Mary Respis was a lady from my church down in North Carolina, and I was calling and talking to her one day, and I was really pretty upset with another setback or whatever. I can't really remember the exact situation, but I was frustrated because, initially, I don't know if you told your audience this, Aaron, but I was only supposed to be at Walter Reed 6 to 8 months. That was the initial thing, I guess. the initial expectation to be there. I ended up being there over 4 years. And somewhere during that third year, I was talking to this lady, Mary Respis, who I dearly loved. And, you know, I was feeling sorry for myself or whatever. And she said, honey, you know, now picture an older Southern lady, and she didn't just say it like honey. She was like, honey, you need to understand one thing. And I was like, you know, what's that, Mary? Enlighten me, you know, please. And she's like, well, this isn't about you. And I was like, well, how's it not about me? This is like 100% about me. This is my legs. This is my injury, my family. Da, da, da. And she goes, no. You're looking at it all wrong. If this was purely like a medical thing, well, you probably would have been all fixed up and done and on your way. Well, obviously there's more work that God needs you to do there, Walter Reed. So you keep having these little setbacks, whatever, to keep you there until you get your work done. So quit feeling sorry for yourself and get to work. And she was right. I needed to quit looking inward so much and start looking outward. And start looking at the guys to my left and my right and seeing how I could help them and how I can inspire them, get them out of the hospital, get them shooting their bows, or get them bows so they could start shooting, or whatever their sport was. Just try to be that catalyst to get on with life. And really, the more I helped them, the more I was helped. I mean, sure. I mean, it wasn't like I got healed overnight or anything like that. In fact, I actually was already out of the Marine Corps. Excuse me, I was already out of Walter Reed. No, I was out of the Marine Corps. It was 2018. I retired in 2016. I was 2018 when they amputated my left leg. You know, so I'd moved on. I had separated myself. You know, it was tough being a Marine officer that was broken, that wasn't doing a job, that was hanging out, which was another stress. But it was more incentive to go find the next thing and to do the next thing and to transition. So, but to kind of answer your question, you know, the military tries very hard. At least I would say the Army, the Navy, and the Marine Corps especially. Quitting and failure isn't an option. You know, if there's life in you, if there's breath in your lungs, you're still fighting. You know, your heart's still beating, pumping, you know, bright red American blood through your veins. You're still fighting, and it was the same thing at Walter Reed with the great majority of us. Hey, look, we're busted up, we're mangled up. You know, we didn't want this life, but this is the life we have. So let's try to make the most of it. Let's try to grab the guy to the next. You know, because we all fall, we all have setbacks and frustrations and good days and bad days. But the guys that are having good days help out the guys that are having bad days, and we move forward together, and then we go on with our lives to our separate communities and try to be examples there. It keeps a person going.
Absolutely. So, you know, again, circling back to this whole campaign of the Pay It Forward, the Phoenix Rise from the Ashes. You have risen from the ashes. I feel like, you know, the couple of pitfalls that have beset me, you know, I'm rising from the ashes, and what I basically, what is that? Was that a plug? Was that just a shameless plug? Unbelievable.
It's my apple juice.
Yeah, huh? Yeah, yes. This episode is brought to you by Target. Everybody loves Target. The dog is cute. Why not buy a few things from Target while we're at it? Hey, I want to inspire you. By the way, have you tried Bullet Bourbon? Some people call it apple juice, but bourbon, it'll get you there every time. Okay, now back to the program. Unbelievable. That was unbelievable. You're not even wearing your Phoenix jersey. Anyway.
Is my speaker working?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
You remember Wayne's World? Little, tiny, yellow. Yeah. Boy, is my keyboard certainly is dusty. I wonder if we could just spray it off real quick. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, this dust off is the best air I've ever used. I wouldn't really promote them. Didn't another one just go down in Japan yesterday? All right. Anyway, that's better. Sipping on coffee with Kahlua tonight. Good for you, Superado, as you should. The rise from the ashes. That's what we're trying to do, and if we, I know that just from visiting you in Walter Reed, there were so many people that were there to help you. There was a support team of people that you didn't even know. Across the hall, there was always somebody cooking, like a potluck. There would be churches that would come in on Sundays and just bring food. And again, it's not just about the person that is going through whatever it is they're going through. It's about the support, the immediate support group, because they're going through the same thing. Melissa was going through the same thing you were going through in a whole different way. Obviously, it wasn't her legs that were being cut off, but she had to watch you go through it. She had to be there for you to go through it. She had to then also kind of inherit all of the extras that come with a disabled person.
It was as much life-changing for her as it was for me.
Yeah, I remember, like, I would come down every Saturday while you were down there, just to give her a break, just so that she wanted to go shopping at Target, or she wanted to go take a shower and just take an hour to herself to, reflect and pray and whatnot. Like, I felt that was as much of a service that I could give to her that I could give to you. Like, I could support you as my brother, being down there and doing whatever needs you needed me to do. But at the same time, I was also supporting her by giving her a break from the daily, what I could only imagine to be a nightmare for her to have. The person that she's married to, the person that she loves, is broken and going through this stuff, and it's got to be psychologically traumatic, just as psychologically traumatic for her that it is physically traumatic for you.
You were talking about the organizations that would serve food and bring food to the hospital. One of the things that was really coveted amongst the caregivers was the nonprofits that would come in and say, hey, we're going to sign you up for mani-pedi, or I don't know if there was massages or whatever, but just these little times away where they can get away from the hospital, do something, get their hair done, get their nails done, anything. Sometimes it was just, hey, we're going to go and we're going to have, a shuttle to, was it Dave and Buster's, and just girls can go and hang out and have a few drinks, and, all these people that were the caregivers, had this major stress in common, and that's kind of what brought them together. But then they could get to know each other over a drink or a game, or just BS over nachos about anything. But what they weren't doing was, wasn't like, boom, I've got to get back and deal with my, injured significant person.
Right.
So,
were you eating?
It was.
HM, were you? What's that? No, I was. HM made a joke, and I was going to ask him if he was eating pancakes on his keyboard.
I hope that's why his keyboard's sticky.
Yeah, I'm sure it was just because he's got a candy addiction. That's all.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's hard to be as serious with me because you know that I'm a jackass. So.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. So, I guess this kind of dovetails into the next segment, which is basically, so we're like, I call it the Wheel of Woe. The Wheel of Woe, and if everybody that's listened to me yammer on and rant on it, Conan the Barbarian, his parents are killed. He's taken into captivity, and he's taken up north, and he's got to push on this ginormous mill grindstone, and he's with 50 other children all pushing on this mill, and they're pushing it around and pushing around, and it does like then it starts to do this little time elapse where he's a little bit older, he's a little bit bigger. There's 25 children, and then it time lapses again, and then there's like 10, and then there's just him, and eventually he looks up into the camera, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He went from that little scrawny little kid pushing a wheel with 50 other kids to pushing the wheel all by himself, and he's what Arnold Schwarzenegger was in his prime. And the
word we're looking for is yoked.
Yeah. And so I refer to my journey, and any person that's on the journey of being successful, as being on the wheel of woe. And it's not an instantaneous thing. It's going to take, 20, whatever. It's going to take you continuously pushing every day, on the days that you don't want to push, on the days that it hurts, on the days that you feel bad, on the days that you just don't, somebody posts something horrible about one of your products, and or an old coworker pops in and starts talking trash on something that they don't know anything about, and you have to push through that, and you can't allow what might seem to be a setback or a negativity to stop your progression and your momentum. And so I say every day I got to get up on the wheel of woe. And there are days, I think I did an 18. I know, it was like 8 a.m. to midnight 2 nights ago. And the next day I had to get up and go back to work. And it's just like, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I can. And the answer is you have to. You have to push that wheel until you get to the point where you've reached what you consider to be your success. And I look at you as an inspiration to that. Like, there's not a day that you can go, well, you know what, today I don't want to have to get into my wheelchair. Today I'm going to, I want my legs back and I want to, run. And we don't have that option. And so I look to you and I go, all right, well, if he can push that wheel, why can't I push that wheel? Have you ever said that I don't remember if you ever said when you started shooting. Oh, I guess he wants to know when your life as an archer started.
So I would always, well, I'll back up. So when I first started shooting my bow, I was 19 or 20 years old. I lived in here in Western Pennsylvania. And I started shooting as a bow hunter primarily. I did some like local tournament stuff, and then when I left for the Marine Corps, I kind of put it all away. Didn't think much of it. And then when flight school started, I needed a place to kind of decompress, a little kind of get away, chill out. And I was like, you know what? Next time I go home on leave, I'll grab my bow and I'll bring it down here. And we had a little yard. I had a little yard in Pennsylvania. And there was
you were like third. You were third best in the state, weren't you? If I remember correctly, going way back.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
But in flight school, flight school was tough for me. I'm not gonna lie. There were people there that I was competing against that had hundreds. A few of them even had thousands of hours. I had none. I had no real experience. I was a business major, not a science or math major.
And you're a little on the spectrum.
I'm a little on the spectrum. This spectrum. What's up? Me and Arnold. Anyway, some people call it the wheel of woe. I call it the wheel of opportunity, so suck it. And what helps me on the wheel of woe is Aid Nation. I was hoping I could work that in. Check it out, Aid Nation, Major Trainwreck, 15% off. Anyway.
We're going to put that on a banner? What is it? Create a banner. What is it?
Major Trainwreck, 15% off.
Okay.
Best electrolyte replacement in the biz. Straight up, all natural, good for you.
And what's the website? Do they have a website?
AidNation.com.
AIDS Nation?
ADE. Jack off.
What is it?
ADE Nation.
Oh. Yeah, from what I understand, it's kind of like a Gatorade knockoff, but really better for you or something. I can't remember.
Right. There's no artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, no caffeine. It's got vitamin A, B, C.
It's
got
shameless.
6 different electrolytes. It's got
Shameless.
zinc and magnesium. Real sugar, but it's low in sugar. Real sodium, but low in sodium. It's good for you. Whatever.
You know what else is low in sodium and sugars?
Like my apple juice.
Apple juice.
My apple juice. It's in my clear Target cup. Anyway.
Shameless. My God.
Anyway, so back to archery. I would just go and I would shoot because it was someplace where I could focus on something other than the stress of the day. Because literally, like you talk about the wheel of woe. I mean, it was work. It was probably the hardest I've ever worked in my life, as far as like studying and trying to stay ahead. Because really, every day that you flew, and sometimes I don't know if we ever flew 5 days a week, but at least there were 4 days a week that we might be actually flying. But before every flight, there's a brief, and part of that brief is a test, a verbal test, like an oral exam, if you will, to make sure you know what you got. And sometimes you'd have to draw stuff or whatever, explain things. And then you had to go do it and perform it in the plane. And it was just, and if you fell behind at all, I mean, it was insane to try to catch up. So I did. I needed a place where I could, just kind of let it all go. And that was one of the things that I learned later on, which is kind of neat about archery, is archery teaches you to let go. Archery teaches you to let go, and that's one of the crazy therapeutic effects of archery. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't realize that until like this last year or so. That's what it's teaching you to do. You're focused somewhere else, and then whatever you've got, just let it go. Let it go into that target. Let it poke a hole in that piece of paper or into that block or whatever it is. But you're letting go. And anyway, I got through flight school, got my wings, moved on. Things were going great, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I come home from my first deployment. My first deployment wasn't too over the top. I mean, we did some cool stuff and got to see some cool stuff.
Where was your first deployment?
It was in the Northern Arabian Gulf. We were flying off the ship into southern Iraq. But there were some hairy times. There were twice on that deployment. Came really, really close to being in a bad way. Being actually like legitimately scared. I could probably think of more than that, but 2 just come to mind right away because they were that real. 3. Sheesh. Anyway. But I come home from that, and I wasn't like anything like PTSD, kind of the stuff that they're talking about. But I just had a lot of stuff. You're on guard. You're at a high level of operating for a long time. You need to decompress somehow, and that's one of the things I told my new wife at the time. Hey, I think I'm going to get a bow and I'm going to start shooting again because it's good for my brain. And of course, she was just like, "Do it." And so I started doing that, and I ended up getting her a bow, and we started shooting together. And that's she was the one that placed really well in states. I was like 6th or something like that, but she ended up being number 1. I forget, but anyway, she dominated ASA for an amateur, and for only shooting for a couple of years. And Keenan, my oldest son, did really well too. But and I was still playing rugby at the time, but rugby wasn't helping me decompress. Rugby, I could tee off, I could get out some aggression, but I really couldn't get like my zen back with rugby. So archery played a huge role in that. And in between deployments, I'd always come back to archery. And shoot, think, relax, and started competing a little bit more. Traveled a little bit, um, but yeah, it wasn't until really after I got hurt in 2012, and the people from the Marine Corps recovery thing, they call it the Wounded Warrior Regiment, not to be mistaken for anything else Wounded Warrior related, but the Wounded Warrior Regiment. Said, hey, part of your recovery is going to be participation in adaptive sports. And I knew rugby was out, just looking at my legs. So I said, hey, is archery one of the sports? And they're like, heck yeah, it is. Eric, what is your longest bullseye, or whatever the correct term is in archery? Well, I'll tell you, I haven't shot more than 90 meters, which is 98.8 yards or so. And I've hit the bullseye. It's almost, it's a football field away. I mean, it happens. You shoot enough arrows, eventually you get lucky and hit it a couple times.
So you said 90 meters, which is how many yards?
98.8 yards.
So it's almost a football field.
Short of a football field.
It's just shy of a football field.
Yeah.
And it was a bullseye. You hit the center. Nice.
Yeah. So now, for most competitions, though, it's 50 meters for my division, and there's an X in the middle. The bullseye is an 1.5 inch circle. But interestingly enough, even in the pro divisions, nobody's ever shot a perfect score in competition. So it's really
which is
720.
720.
You shoot 72 arrows at 50 meters, so over half a football field. And
so Rick Smith had a question for you. I think this is it's a pretty intense question. With everything that you've been through and go through every day, is there anything you feel like you can't handle? I hope that question makes sense. You are one.
Yeah, sure. I don't think I could handle prison sex. So that's why I try not to do stuff that's illegal, because I don't want to go to prison. No, this is to be completely serious. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to tempt that. I don't want to ask for that, because I know what I've been through, and I know that that even if it's really, really dim, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to keep grinding for it. But to kind of go looking for something that maybe I can't handle, I don't know. I don't have that kind of a demon that I have to prove myself like that. Maybe talk to like David Goggins or somebody. But
that's not that you're actually tap dancing around something. In my old profession of EMS.
Oh, I think you say prison love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ryan brings up an excellent point. I mean, you don't knock it unless you've tried it. How do you know? You like, after the first experience, you're like, I probably should have done this a few years ago. This is not so bad.
Can I make this a job?
Not only that, but like, we can go play video games afterwards. We don't really have to like talk about our feelings.
We can work out. We want
to go watch the game. Let's go watch the game. You don't have to ask for permission. Anyway, I'm just saying. Anyway, where was I going?
I mean, is Ryan? Is that an offer? Ryan, are you offering?
What I was saying is that there are a lot of police, fire, and EMS does have the highest suicide rate of any profession, and it stems from what is known as the adrenaline junkie, the person that constantly has to keep finding a new source of excitement that gets him to that or her to that level. The lights and sirens, all of a sudden they don't really have the appeal that they used to. The motor vehicle crashes, the massive traumas and the fires and all that stuff, they no longer give you that same rush that you used to get, blaring lights and sirens going, 100 miles an hour down the highway. to the scene of an accident or whatever, and so then they start to turn to drugs and alcohol, and a good portion of them have affairs. You're always trying to get that next level of rush to to feed that demon, and eventually there's nothing left to feed that demon, and by the time you realize where you're at, like, your life is a complete mess. And then ultimately they take your life. um, so I mean, it's important that you recognize that, and it's important that you don't need that demon, and you're not chasing that demon. I think it's really, really important that I think a good portion of it is self-awareness, and I think a good portion of it is also having, like we've been talking about this entire time for the last 56 minutes, and that is a good support group and having somebody that you can talk to. I know that there are um, there are a few. If you want to go biblical, it says a man of many companions will come to ruin, but there is a friend that lies closer than a brother. And I know Ryan Hansen that has been commenting. Like, sometimes I'll call him up and I'll be like, dude, I need to vent. I need to last year we had a pretty big manufacturing catastrophe in the warehouse, and I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought that like the very short stint that was Phoenix was coming to a rapid end because of that manufacturing snafu. And I called him and I just needed to walk through my thoughts and walk through my feelings, as a sounding board. It's really, really important that we have that support group, and that we have that support group. I know that you have some really close friends that you rely heavily on. And it's beautiful, because we were not designed as creatures to be creatures of solitude, and I think having someone or someone's in your life that you can lean on and get a different perspective. I have found that perspective is 90% the battle, and that if somebody can just show me just a little bit different of a perspective, like you said, what do you mean, Doc? The lady that you were talking about, what do you mean it's not about me? It's 100% about me. And she's like, no, it's not. That's a perspective.
Yeah.
One perspective is it's 100% about me. The other perspective is, no, it's about the guy sitting beside you. It's the other person in the trench. Those are perspectives. And I think that as long as we have someone in our lives that can just listen and sympathize, and then offer a different perspective, I think that we are so much farther ahead. And ultimately, that's what I really, really want this campaign to be about. I want.
Well, can I jump in? Let me jump in there.
Please.
So, and I think I talked about it in the last program, and it's a key point here, and it goes to what you're talking about, like a support group. And you'd be surprised that some of the stuff that people say, or that you might say to somebody else, not thinking it would have that big of an impact or whatever, but something is huge. But I talk about my friend Travis Mills. He's one of those quadruple amputees. He was the fifth surviving guy. Got hit by a glass IED. It was designed so you couldn't pick it up with a metal detector. I mean, just a vicious anti-personnel mine designed to inflict a lot of damage. And it did its job, and it wrecked this guy pretty bad. And when I first saw him, I honestly thought that he was dead. He just hadn't stopped having a beating heart. But he's tremendous, and he was pushing in every way, and just an inspiration to us all. And I said to him one day, Travis, I was like, seriously, man, how do you stay so positive? And thankfully, I caught him like in the right moment, or he realized that I was being serious, because he didn't just verbally smash me in the balls or something. But which was super common, and it was needed a lot too then, because we pushed each other with dark humor and in the military kind of a way, abusive motivation. But but I don't know if he heard it in my voice or whatever, but there was a moment of seriousness. Then he looked at me and he said, I don't. And he kind of became a little bit vulnerable there, which was out of place as well. But he said, I don't always stay positive. And I was like fixated. And he goes, there are times where I consider my situation, and this is paraphrased from doggone 11 years ago now. And I get upset and I get emotional and I feel defeated and crushed. And at some point though, during this episode, I realized that all this feeling sorry for myself, feeling bad for myself, isn't going to accomplish anything except keep me in this lowly state. So he goes, I not to put words in his mouth, I dry the tears, I put my big boy pants on, and in his case, I got to strap my arm on first so I can strap my doggone legs on. So then I could put my pants on, and then I could go to work. I mean, and Travis will tell you this too, and you think he's got the worst of it, but there's always somebody that's got it worse, Those are the guys that, maybe they're burned over their entire body. Or the guys that are paraplegics because they took a sniper round through the chest, like my dear friend, Andrew Pike. Or, I mean, there's always worse, and it's also perspective. But what's key is you play the cards that you're dealt, metaphorically speaking. You play the cards you're dealt, and like Kenny Rogers says, every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser. And if you want to be a bitch, you're going to play it like a loser, and you're gonna cry it away, and you're guaranteed to just kind of lead a frustrated, sad, angry life, or you can choose to be a survivor of the circumstances and try to make the most out of it and be a winner. And it's not easy every day. It's not like, hey, every day I get up and man, I look forward to strapping my legs on because I know it's going to be another exciting day. No, I'll tell you, like right now, I've got a sore on my left leg, my right leg. And I don't even want to strap my leg on sometimes. But I still got stuff to do, baby. It's still time to get up. It's still time to go to the gym. It's still time to go shoot my bow. It's still time to go coach kids at the local school here in archery. It's still time to go do a motivational speak to the high school kids. It's still some time to go and share my witness to, people, a men's group or something like that. I mean, life doesn't stop. And then that's just like my personal stuff. But I'm a dad too. I've got 5 kids here at the house and one that's in the Navy. I can't stop being a dad. I can't stop caring. I can't stop being a part of their lives. I'm a husband. You've got these things you got to do, and you can do them or you can not do them. But and it's a personal choice. But you're really quick that your life gets empty quick if you don't play to win. I don't know how else to say it. Do I want to have missing legs? No. Would I like? There was an issue at the school the other day when I was coaching, and the key to the equipment room. What's that?
What are you coaching?
Archery. Sorry, coaching archery at the local Christian school here. A volunteer coach for these kids. Anyway, we couldn't get into the equipment locker, so we're waiting for the key, and I was trying to teach these young people how to throw a football correctly. Man, how frustrating is it when you can't show them how to take a step, lead with the knee, drive the hips through, and have the body swing through afterwards. It's all modified, and you tend to get pretty good explaining motion and stuff like that and how it's supposed to feel. But as far as like demonstrating and showing what it's supposed to look like, it's not there, and it's frustrating. But do I just say, hey, you're never going to throw a football, at least not for me coaching, or do I try? Do I try? And guess what? Most of them were able to throw a spiral before the equipment room got unlocked. I mean, it was just whatever it is, eat it up, attack it.
Well, and I think that I think you're in a position, and I don't want to be sycophantic, but I think you're in a position because of your obvious Well, I don't want to just like I don't want to come across as just kissing your ass because that's not what this is about. Because of your obvious physical disadvantages, I think that the impact that you have on these very impressionable youth goes a lot farther. So that even if you can't show the great form or the perfect form and things of that nature, the fact that you are, like you said, even just you're out there and you're doing it, you're trying or whatever, is a much greater impact than, let's just say, you know, the retired what's his nuts from Green Bay, who's high school coaching now. You know what I'm talking about, right? Brett Favre. Brett Favre. Brett Favre. He's retired. He's a high school coach now. Blah 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 blah. I think that your story, because of the rise from the ashes aspect of it, has a lot more of an impact than someone like that would have. Sure, he's a superstar. He's got the notoriety, but as far as the psychological impact that you make in your story is so much deeper and so much farther down the line. Like, I've met a lot of celebrities by accident. You know, I've run into like Danny Glover and stuff like that, and it's a great story. Hey, you know, Danny Glover was this and da 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 da. You know, you remember Mike Whitten, my baseball coach? He went to he hung out with Bill Murray somehow. I forget what his connection was to Bill Murray, but it's a side note. But to have someone like you say, you know, this guy who was involved in a plane crash and his legs were taken from him, and he was out here and he was showing us to do archery and he was showing us, you know, to play football and stuff like that. Like, I think that is such a much deeper, impactful, long-lasting inspiration than meeting someone who's cool. Not to say that you're not cool, because I'm sure you're cool, but you're also kind of a douche. So
your mom thinks I'm cool.
Yeah, she kind of asked you. She asked you, just like she thinks that you're pretty, even though we all know she's lying. No, he's a handsome boy. He really is. Huh?
You're so special.
You're so special. No, I think you look better without your legs. Oh, really? Thanks, Ma. You're the best. Anyway,
yes,
all right.
awesome.
So we have now crossed the 1 hour mark. Usually, what we try to do is come up with some reason to give away some free stuff. Everybody loves the trivia question, so we usually try to tie it into. Somebody just commented that I'm way more handsome than you, and that's just obvious. What is that?
That's the Paris 2024 Olympic doohickey guy. He's the mascot. Just throw that out. Well, you're talking about giving away stuff. I'm doing shameless promotions.
To the Olympics of 2024 in Paris. Yeah. That was your shameless promotion.
That's the mascot. I didn't make the mascot. The froggies over there. So this is what we want our mascot to be for the Paris 2024 Olympics. This guy.
Okay. All right.
Just throwing that out.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So talk about
So Will, Danny Glover. He was in Lethal Weapon and he was in The Predator. I met him. He was in Pittsburgh. I got to be honest with you. Out of all the celebrities that I've been able to meet, there's only one celebrity that I completely I fanboyed out on, and I felt like after my wife and I both we met Roger Waters down in D.C. with Tim, and he introduced us to Roger Waters, and it was I love you music. This is so great. I just completely became a butthole, and he was like, "Yeah, I got to go to New York, so we'll see you guys later." Boom, Roger Waters out the door. My one chance of actually meeting Roger Waters, and I acted like a complete whatever. Anyway, but Danny Glover, I'm walking home from art school. We're on 7th Street. He's in Pittsburgh promoting his Angels in the Outfield, and the All-Star game baseball All-Star game was in Pittsburgh that year. So basically, Danny Glover was promoting Angels in the Outfield at the All-Star game, and they were giving out tickets. You could go. I think it was Three Rivers Stadium back at that point, and they were doing the showing of Angels in the Outfield on the big Teletron in the middle of the field. And so he was in town, and so we're walking home from school, and this limousine pulls up on the side of the road, and dude gets out, runs across the street, and right in front of us, and goes inside this laundromat. And I forget who I was with, but I was like, that was Danny Glover. And she was like, no, it wasn't. And I was like, no, that was Danny Glover. Let's go back. So we walk back over to the dry cleaner, and I look in the window, and it's Danny Glover, and he's talking to the person behind the counter. And then he comes to the door, and he yells to his driver, hey, bring me my green shirt. Goes back inside the dry cleaner, and I see this dude take off his shirt, his button-down shirt, and he's given it to the lady behind the counter. And I mean, he had to have been, I think, back in, what was it, 94-ish? Dude was ripped. I know he was like, he had to be 50, pushing 60 or something like that. Dude was jacked. And the driver comes running across the street, brings him his green shirt, puts on a green t-shirt. And then, obviously we're looking through the window at this whole thing. And he comes out, and I said, Mr. Glover, my roommate, he's a crazy fan of yours. He has all these Lethal Weapon posters all over his room. He absolutely you're the greatest actor in the world. It would mean a lot if I could get your autograph for him. And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. And so I pull out this ginormous drawing pad, and I hand it to him, and he scribbled, he writes his name real big. And he was like, so what are you guys doing? And art students, blah, 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 blah. He was like, well, that's really fantastic. Really, congratulations. Best of luck to you. And he stuck out his hand, and he shook my hand like he was authentically just a nice dude. And that's my Danny Glover story. Probably, I'm sure there's just as cool celebrities out there, but in my opinion, because he was that cool to me for no reason, and I wasn't even like asking for you're not a fan of mine. Why wouldn't you want my autograph? I was asking for my roommate, and he was just so cool. What are you guys up to? What are you guys doing? So,
asking for a friend. He's heard that before.
I met Carl Weathers, not Danny Glover. That's funny. Anyway, I think we were going somewhere with this. I can't remember where we were going. But we were giving away free stuff. Yeah, so we have to come up with a trivia question to give to Keith Firebird because he wins everything anyway. So come up with a trivia question that's related to you in some way, shape, or form. Another shameless plug.
What's my favorite electrolyte drink? That could be it.
No, it is not it because you ruined it by.
Maybe they weren't looking at the screen.
Yeah. A red triangle with a smile. All right. AIDS. It's AIDS Nation. AIDS. AIDS. AIDS Nation. Anyway. All right. We could say. So this is the second time that you've appeared on the show. So we could do a callback to something that you said or did in the first show, if you want to.
I got a picture of Danny Glover too.
You're out. Your camera's oh yeah, your camera's terrible. I can't see that. It looks like I think it's your family. You're the worst. You're the worst.
Isn't that Danny Glover?
I don't know. I can't see. It's all blurry. Sorry, you need to get like a real internet as opposed to whatever.
Hey, for all the fans out there, I talked to my brother about getting like a microphone and a camera and all that. He said get a microphone. Guess what I got? I got a microphone. If he said get a camera, I'd have a camera too. So
I sent you all that information. I gave you the camera information and everything. Like this isn't your first rodeo. It would be one thing if you were a rookie. You're not a rookie. So I don't know who you're inspiring with your pixelated 16-bit stupid camera. God. Seriously, you're like watching Super Mario Brothers first generation, like when you're still jumping through the pipes, going up. Super Donkey Kong. That's what having an interview with you as Obama Glover is his little brother. So good. Yeah, exactly. Major Trainwreck is still on dial-up. Yeah, seriously. When you logged in today to StreamYard, did it go beater. Good God.
I would say probably half of your fan base probably doesn't even know what the dial-up sounds like.
That's not true. I don't think there's anybody under the age of 30 in this room. Except for maybe Ryan Mulhern. He seemed pretty young to me. But, he is worldly, apparently, according to that prison sex stuff. So,
Yikes.
He might have been born yesterday, but he spent the night in town.
He spent the night in jail.
With an Earthlink email address. Yeah, we're talking to Major Trainwreck live on Prodigy.
Hey, don't knock my AOL.com email address.
Yeah, you and the 6 other people that have it. I've used COD. I used to have paper maps. Paper maps. Yeah, for sure. You have to special order those now. When we went to Nick's Mountain House in October when we went fishing, Dad still used a map. He pulled out his Randall McNally Atlas, and we drew with a highlighter the route that we were going to take. That was awesome.
Hey, one electromagnetic pulse, and we'll all be using maps again.
No, not everybody. Most people will just be like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. What's a map? Anyway, so we still have to give away something that's related to. All right, how about this? What was the aircraft that Major Trainwreck used to fly before his accident? Don't give him any hints. Don't give him any hints. Stop it.
Okay, no hints.
No hints until they answer correctly.
No hints.
Keith, doesn't matter. Keith Fiber got it. He gets everything. Keith, you suck. Yeah, okay. That was an easy one. All right, we'll have to do 2 because 19 people got it. I didn't think that many people liked you, let alone paid attention to what you had to say. The Millennium Falcon, Ryan Mulhern wins.
You got my vote.
Gosh.
Ask him what I flew before the Osprey.
Oh, that's a good question. So what did Eric fly before the Osprey? That'll get you. I'll get you. I guess that'll. What is it? UH-60? UH-60? Is that accurate? Nope. UH-60 is no. Oh, Rick Smith remembers because they fly over his house all the time. They permission for a flyby. Negative tower. The pattern is full.
We're not flying over his house. We're flying over his mom's house.
Oh, snap. Top rope.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
She was wearing a Malcolm X shirt. We thought we were going to land on her.
Easy.
Oh.
Easy. These people are fans and supporters. Don't be insulting them. You can only talk about Eric's mom. You can only talk about Papa Smurf's mom. Speaking of which, looking for a good time, you know who to call. Papa Smurf's mom. 555-55. 5555. Papa Smurf's mom, 24/7. She's like your favorite convenience store. It's a little pricey. It's not really as good as what you would normally buy, but it does in a pinch. Anyway. Anybody? The first aircraft that Eric used to fly. What is it? Does this work? Is that close?
Close, really close, but that's not it.
Close, but not it. Nice try, Al. Good try. CH47.
That's a Chinook. Sorry.
Keith, you lose again, nerd.
So close. It's like the mini version of the 47.
Mini version of the 47. That's a pretty big hint. It's not a plane, Ryan Mulhern. Sorry.
Flies off a ship.
A kite. That is correct. He flew a kite because he's a bitch.
In my defense, it was the last time I flew a kite, I was with Keith's mom. So.
Falcor from the Never-Ending Story. A trio.
Pretty good, Miller detailing.
That's great. X-Wing. Nope. The Millennium Falcon was closer. Sorry. All right. Good. I don't have to give away another prize. Thank God. Keith Firebird wins another one. Keith Firebird never has to buy another detailing product. He just tunes into Phoenix's live streams and he wins everything every week. C-130, a balloon.
I like your audience. They're good.
Yeah, dude, my people are the best. I mean, they're not even my people. I totally borrowed them from Papa Smurf. So Papa Smurf's people are the best, for sure. The Four Horsemen, again, paying it forward. The Four Horsemen put me on the map. There's no doubt about that. Surrounding yourself with great people from the very, very beginning is the secret to success. The secret to success in life, the secret to success in business, having good people around. A kite that looks like a bat. He definitely, Miller detailing, he is definitely a knuckle dragger for sure. You can tell.
You don't get the call sign Trainwreck because you're elegant and
you can tell by that elongated forehead and those scarred knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
CH46.
Nailed it. That's it. Good job, Keith.
Whatever, dude.
You must have dialed your mom up and asked her.
Oh shit. Hey Google, what's close to a 46 but not, or a 47 but not? Times 2. All right, Keith, email me or text me or DM me later if you don't want 2 bottles of the panel prep, because I am trying to promote the brand new, the greatest panel prep in the history of panel preps. I'm trying to promote the Peleus panel prep, but if you don't want 2 bottles of the panel prep, or 3 bottles at this point since you got one last week too, if you don't want 2 bottles of the panel prep, call me, let me know what you want. I can, I'll sub out something, Hydra or Titan or something, a Kraken, whatever you want. We'll sub it out. I tried that Google search and it didn't work. It didn't work. All right. So we're approaching the 1.5 hour mark. Keith Firebird.
Just warming up, right, baby? Just warming up.
I guess. I had such a great, dude. We had a 3,500 bottle order for gloss and wax. So that's what I was doing in the warehouse all today, was making gloss and wax to bottle up for.
Well, Aaron, there's a way to prevent from having to do that, and that's make crummy products and nobody will buy them. But you keep making top quality products that everybody wants, you're going to be working your butt off. Sorry.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm trying. My second glass of apple juice is starting to kick in a little bit, so things are going to get a little sloppy from here on out. But yeah, we are trying to make the best stuff that's available at a reasonable price. That's what we're trying to do. The word just needs to get out. I went to see Brian from Apex yesterday, and I ripped him. He did a comparison between panel preps. I think he did 5 or 6 different panel preps, and Peleus, in true panel prep comparisons, Peleus was without a doubt the clear winner. But he put into his the video a bunch of polishes, like 2 different polishes. Like I guess they're priming polishes or something like that. I guess they're polishes that that can be used before you're putting a coating on or something of that nature. And I'm like, I said, Brian, that wasn't like an apples to apples comparison. Like if you have a significant ceramic coating on your vehicle and you don't want that ceramic coating on your vehicle anymore, you're going to have to compound it off, or wet sand it, compound it, whatever. You're going to have to use something really, really aggressive and abrasive to get that off there. But as far as a panel prep is concerned, and what a panel prep is supposed to do is after you've done all that nonsense, you want to wipe all the residue away, the residuals away, any kind of oils, polishing oils. You want to get rid of all that stuff. That's what a panel prep is. When you compare it to a polishing, or I should say a primer polish, you're not really comparing apples to oranges anymore. So, and also not only that, but the stuff that you said won first place is astronomically more expensive. It's way more expensive than Peleus is. So, in my mind, there is nothing out there. If you're talking about a true panel prep, there's nothing out there that's better than Peleus. I think we're killing it. I need a yes, you do. Ow, I don't know what you're waiting for. People that have tried my stuff go, damn. Googled prison sex. Won't make that mistake a third time. A third time.
Ryan. Love you, Ryan.
He's a good dude. Peleus shill that Aaron. I don't know what that means. Cat guy. Mark got to hang out with Papa Smurf today down in I want to say Anaheim. They were down in Anaheim. I think Papa Smurf's daughter is in a cheerleading competition that took place down at the Magic Kingdom, and Mr. Mark was lucky enough to be proxy to the Magic Kingdom. Eric, Mark actually used to live in Irvine.
When?
He still does. He lives in Irvine right now.
Where?
Irvine.
Where in Irvine?
Oh. I don't know. I'm not. That's for him to tell you. But we've talked a lot of. Oh my God! Enough with your nonsense. But yeah, so basically, Eric and I spent some time in Irvine when our dad was stationed in El Toro, California. El Toro. Woodbridge, Culver, and Maine. Do you remember where that is?
Yeah, we were off Culver Drive. We were Culver in 405.
I don't remember any of that.
And Culverdale. It was the little.
Oh, I remember. Right as we were leaving, it became West Park Village 1, and they were building West Park Village 2, where you shot me, and what else? You did all kinds of horrible things to me in Irvine. But yeah, the memory that rings out to me the most is when you shot me. When they were building West Park Village 2. That was a good memory. Anyway. Got my gallons of Apex, Hydra, and Titan in last week. Whoop, whoop. All right, Super Auto, I will look into the tracking on that panel prep, and if I overlooked it, I will definitely make sure that you got it. I live right behind the 405 off of Culver. Yeah.
We were just on the north side of Culver, just north of Culver on the 405.
I was too young to remember any of that stuff. Anyway, the point of this whole story is that I'm tired. I worked my tail off today, so I don't know how much juice I have left in the tank. It's going to be like that. Hey, I could go all night if I have to. I don't want to. It's not like I wasn't ready to go hours before the show was, and you couldn't even figure out how to log in, but that's cool. Grab some Midol. Damn, this is a rough crowd.
Yeah, I like it. Who said that?
Super auto.
Nice super auto.
Yep.
I love it.
No quarter asked, no quarter given. What else would you like to talk about, Trainwreck? We're down to 12 people. They're dying like flies around here.
That's getting late.
Yeah, it's true. It's 9:30. Well, the thing is that we do the 8:00 show so that people in California, it's only 5:00 for them. They have somewhat of a life. We could do it earlier, or we could, just completely not care about our other coast brethren, like a certain Smurf does when he throws his live stream at 2:00 in the afternoon, West Coast time, which means it's 5:00 East Coast time. And people are kind of done at that point. But we try hard. Would it be easier? Would it be better to do an earlier podcast or a live stream for people? I don't know. But I know like Dee Dee's from Texas. They have a time difference. Nacho Man's from Texas. He's got a time difference. We try to be as accommodating as possible here. I like the later times. I do too. I think it gives people with younger kids can get their kids to sleep. You can have dinner with people. Like I had dinner with my stepson and my wife tonight, and then I was able to still make the show. So yes, Papa is in California. He's in that place called just north of San Francisco, where I think he takes a lot of his lifestyle cues from. San Francisco. Not judging, just saying, but not judging. 10:33 p.m. So, Humberto, you're an hour ahead of us. I did not know that. Good. Ryan, good. I appreciate that. All right. So I think we I missed the live last stream. I like Sunday night. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a school night for a lot of people. I like Sunday nights too. I think they're a little bit more relaxed, but especially if I'm hitting the apple juice, I think Saturday night is good so that I have a day to just kind of just chillax. Speaking of the shows, we have one more show coming up next week. Next Saturday, it's going to be at same time, 8:00 Eastern. We have Detail Doug. From Detail It on his Instagram, it's To Detail It. His YouTube is Detail It. He is a detailer, a lot like Nacho Man, which is like part-time detailing out of his garage. But he's got a lot of personality. He's a super cool guy. I think wavelengths wise, we sync up really well. He's a patriot. And he calls balls and strikes like he sees it, and I really appreciate that about him. This is so good. I love my people. So next
I might have to buy Miller a beer or something.
Dude, Miller is so cool. He has been riding with me from the beginning of Phoenix. I think I might have even met him from the old country. I can't remember. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing before Phoenix. Phoenix has always existed, always will, immortal, rise from the ashes. Anyway, so yeah, we got one last show next Saturday before the end of the Pay It Forward campaign. So this is week 3. Doug is going to usher in week 4. And then after Doug, we're going to do the live stream on December 27th, which is 2 days after Christmas. It's a Wednesday, so I understand if most people can't make it out for that. But I definitely don't want the year to end without giving somebody some good news. Again, we have a grand prize of I think we just got another polisher, a 3-inch polisher donated. So we have a full polisher from ShineMate. We have a 3-inch polisher. The full Phoenix line of products and pads donated from Fab Mobile Detailing. He's donated all those pads, so you're going to have everything that you possibly need to bring your detailing game to the next level. Like, this isn't just like hand-me-down stuff. Grand prize will put somebody on the path to success. You will be able to do the best details you've ever done in your life with the grand prize. First prize is going to be, again, another machine, some pads, and some product. I'm not really quite sure what second and third is. Ryan told me, but I forget because I've had too much apple juice tonight. And then you get 4 honorable mentions. In the excuse me, in the past, the honorable mentions is usually a bottle of Titan. But like since and the reason why we're going with Titan is because anybody can use it for any job. You don't have to be a detailer. You can just be a weekend guy that likes to wash their car. You can use Titan and make it look good. Some people aren't chasing the dragon of perfect paint. They just want their car to look shiny and clean. And so that's what we're going for with the honorable mentions. So we got 4 honorable mentions, and then we got 4 prize winners, which is grand prize, first place, second place, third place. Please nominate somebody. If you know somebody that could use exactly what we're giving away, nominate them. It doesn't have to be a hard luck story per se. However, there's been a couple of hard luck stories that have been submitted already that, like, wow, like there's some stuff that is just like, you know what, this is exactly what this campaign was designed for. And I'm calling it a campaign. It's not a giveaway. It's not a promo. It's a campaign to make people's lives better, because everybody in this chat room, everybody in this circle, everybody in this industry that has gone with me along the way has made our lives better, made my life better, made my family's life better. And the friendships that I've made along the way, the stories that we've made along the way, all add to the motivation to get on that wheel of woe every day. Hey, you know, I'm doing this because I got to hang out with Mark Susie in Louisville. I got to hang out with Ryan in Louisville. I got to hang out with Titan Tim in Louisville. Met a whole bunch of really cool people that I never would have met otherwise, and now we still have that relationship. That all contributes to the motivation of getting up and doing it every day. Like you said, Eric, like you said before, you know, it's the relationships that you forge that help continue to motivate you even when you don't want to be motivated. You know, I don't want to let you guys down. So I'm motivated to keep making the best products possible and not cut corners and not do things that's going to save money or make the company more profitable if we switch to this chemical versus that chemical, but that chemical doesn't perform as well as the chemical that we're using. Like the stuff that we're putting in Pelias, it's next level and it's not cheap. And so, you know, you could definitely make a panel prep that checks all the boxes. It might not be the best of the best of the best, but it checks all the boxes as being a panel prep. I think, you know, there's companies out there that are pushing a 50-50 IPA solution, which is just absolute trash. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're taking the next step to be the best that we possibly can, to give you the best product that you can possibly get at a reasonable price so that you can make a difference in your life. You can make a difference in the orbit that you touch, the people that you encounter, that you're not, just scraping by. We want to help people make a better life for themselves. It was one of the greatest things that I ever learned at my old company, which was, you know, anybody can pick up a wheel, and it doesn't have to be the greatest job ever, but you can make a couple of bucks to help pay for dinner that night, to help, you know, go to the grocery store, keep the lights on, help pay rent by picking up a wheel and detailing a car. It doesn't have to be perfect. So if I can give you a great product that will help you achieve that without, you know, spending $60 a pint, I'm going to do that because I've been there. We all know my story. If you've listened to any of the Curmudgeon Corners, you know my story. Like we hit rock bottom at one point, and we're here today. We have risen from the ashes because of people paying it forward and helping me. And so now we're paying it forward as well. I haven't taken the seal off the Pelias yet. Does it have a scent? Yeah, it smells like it smells like a chemical. It doesn't have like Dyes are usually powder. Scents are usually an oil. When you add either one of those to a product, you run the risk of leaving a residue behind. When we're doing when we were making the Peleus, it was, you could add a little yellow dye and add a little lemon scent to it to give it a little bit of something. But then you run the risk of leaving something behind. Now, it's a very small risk. It's like a 0.01% chance of leaving it behind. But why run that risk at all? I don't want to. I don't want to add anything. First of all, I don't want to add cost to the product that gets pushed onto the customer. And I don't want to run the risk of, well, it was a little bit below 40 degrees and it lingered a little bit longer than I wanted to. And so therefore it left a residue behind. I don't want that. I remember I was listening to a podcast from Extra Mobile Detailing. Or Extra Mile Detailing. I was listening to one of his podcasts, Detail Dye, which no longer exists. But he was talking about, I wish that a company would make a chemical that is specific to Phoenix, Arizona. And I thought, as a manufacturer, I thought that's really, really impossible to do, because you're looking at a situation where it's such a niche market that you're limiting yourself as a manufacturer. But if you could do something a little bit more broad spectrum that appeals to the everyman in a great deal of situations, now you're helping a lot more people than just one specific niche group. Did you ever show Eric that link I sent you where I think Eric, I think I forwarded this on to you, but Super Auto found Major Alvarez, the guy that pulled you out of the fire. He found him.
No, you did not share that with me. I guarantee you didn't, because I would have been all over that.
All right. My bad. Super Auto found him.
Super Auto. majtrainwreck@gmail.com.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I can do that. I can do that for you. majtrainwreck@gmail.com. Yeah.
MAJ Trainwreck will also get you 15% off Aid Nation.
Oh, you are such a. You're the worst. You were the worst. Anyway,
please send me that, because I would love to see what he's doing, what he's up to. I'm in touch with some of the junior Marines that were there. I say junior, but they were NCOs. Yeah, and some of them are going through some tough times, that kind of thing. But really, I'd love to reconnect with, I guess, Sergeant Major Alvarez now. Thank you.
Yeah, man, our people are awesome. I just sent it to your IG mail. Apparently, he's a follower of yours.
Who?
Super Auto. He just sent you to your IG, like he sent you a DM to your IG.
Oh, I thought you were saying that Sergeant Major Alvarez was a follower of Super Auto. I'll be like, what?
No. Super Auto is a follower of yours, Trainwreck.
Yeah.
Because you're so awesome. All right, nominate people. For the love of baby Jesus, if you know a worthy person, please nominate them. It's funny, the phrasing of that worthy person. Ryan and I have gone back and forth about that phrase, that terminology a lot, and there are people that he has reached out to, that he has helped, and they decide to take a different path. Like, Ryan is an extremely generous person. I don't know if I've met very few people that are as generous as him. Yeah, he's a special person, and talking about pulling yourself up from your bootstraps. That guy right there, Ryan.
Yes.
And it's hard to say who, what is worthy and what is not worthy. But it's basically, I guess, at the end of the day, we don't want to help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves. If that makes sense without sounding like just kind of disgusting. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like we want to help somebody that wants to help themselves. Like it doesn't go anywhere. And you're almost like offering help to somebody that doesn't want the help. And that's not what this is about. Like there are people like you, Eric, there are people like me, there are people like Ryan that want the help, that want to make their lives, their world around them better, and sometimes they just need a little assistance to get there. Horrible things happen to people every day. People die, car accidents, fire, just who knows the length of misfortune that happens, when bad things happen to good people. Well, that's what we're trying to do, is that we're trying to lessen the blow of bad things happening to good people. And sometimes that's all a good person needs, is just a little acknowledgement that they're not in this alone. And that's what we want. So please nominate people, not, that you believe is worthy, that want and need, that want some help. We're here to help them. That's what we're here for. That's what this family, this community has always been. So I don't know what else to say on that. All right. Anybody wants to get a hold of Eric? Eric, what's your handle at on IG?
I think it's MAJ Trainwreck.
That's it?
I think so. Here, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too.
Sorry, I'm kind of wrapped up here emotionally with Sergeant Major Alvarez. Wow. Yeah, MAJ Trainwreck is my Instagram.
Yeah, so I mean, anybody that doesn't know the story about Sergeant Major Alvarez, this Marine saw the plane take a turn for the worse. Go ahead.
They knew something was up, because when we went into a hover, started pedal turning, started our departure, and we were still in control of the plane, but you could tell something wasn't right as the tail comes up. Anyway, we're Sergeant Major Alvarez and Gunnery Sergeant Alvarez. Really is inspirational, and where he earned his Navy Marine Corps Medal, which is, I don't know where it is on the order of precedence, but I think it is the highest of peacetime medals that you can receive. The aircraft, when it was still, like upon impact, pieces are still flying through the air, still grinding itself up. Basically, it's exploding.
It was still on fire. What you told me, it was still on fire.
No, there was no fire. There's no fire. The aircraft wasn't burning. That's one of the cool things about the Osprey. But it was exploding in the sense that pieces are coming off of it. It hits the ground. All the rotor blades are coming off. It's hitting the ground. Pieces of the ground are flying. It's true chaos. Debris is still going everywhere. Wreckage is still being slung, and he's running into the debris, into the stuff that's falling, to get to the aircraft. I mean, within a split second, he's already trying to save us. And he led his Marines into that chaos, into that uncertainty, not knowing what he's going to find, but knowing that he had to be there, hoping for the best. And he was able to save Jake and I. He and his Marines.
You know, there's a part 2 to that story that's probably my favorite part of the story. If you can have a favorite part of that kind of a horrific ordeal, but just to kind of bring into perspective the level of chaos that was happening after he pulled you out. You told me that there was a corpsman that saw what was left of your leg, and he just froze and didn't know what to do. And you said that Alvarez basically slapped him in the head. He was like, I don't know what to do, and he slapped the corpsman in the head and said, "You splint that leg, and you get him ready to ship out of here. Like, you know what your job is. Start acting like you know what I mean? Like, act like you've been here before, kind of scenario." To coin, dad. But basically, just that shock of and as an EMT, I've been there. Like, I've seen something that like all of a sudden my brain just goes, I don't know what to do with what this chaos is. I don't know what to do with this chaos. And it calls into question your everything. I don't know. I remember this guy very vividly, and I remember very vividly this. I didn't know what to do with this guy, and your whole body just froze up. And luckily for me, and luckily for the patient, instinct takes over. All right, let's go start back with the ABCs: airway, breathing, circulation. Like, let's like go to your training and figure it out, man. I didn't have a gunny sergeant to slap me in the head and say, "Hey, you know what to do it." So for me, like that, for the impact that Alvarez had in this scenario, not only was he a leader, but he also had a situation awareness that it wasn't just about like, we need to go and rescue these people. It was also, you have a job to do, you have a job to do, you have a job to do, and you better do it or you're going to get a meat hook upside your head. And that's, I mean, that is the Marine spirit in my mind. And what truly like there are two factors that saved you in my mind. In the retelling of the story, there are two factors that saved you, and both of them included Alvarez.
Yeah. No doubt about it. He was definitely the man of the hour. I don't know how to even articulate my appreciation for him. I mean, there's 1,000 scenarios out there, 1,000 ways it could have gone down, but there's only one scenario that pieces of the aircraft are still raining down, pieces of debris from the hitting the ground, the stones, the rocks that were all thrown, still hitting the ground, and him literally sprinting towards the aircraft with it still on, with the what's left of the engine still turning, the Marines following behind him and springing into action and doing what Marines do. It's, I think I might have said this before in your last podcast. There was an old Marine Corps commercial, and it's got the Marines coming ashore, and it's this big giant cloud of dust, and there's lightning in it and stuff like that. It's crazy, whatever, and the Marines are just running towards it, and the caption is, "In the face of chaos, which way will you run?" Sergeant Major Alvarez and his Marines don't have to ask that question anymore. They've proven it. He took charge of a really bad situation and prevented it from getting any worse. With his example, with his decisiveness, with his situational awareness, everything about him is the epitome of what the gunny's supposed to be. And it really does my heart good to see that he's a sergeant major of Marines now. So it's awesome. I hope.
Well, I hope you guys are able to connect, and not for nothing. Like I would like to be there when you reconnect. Like we should go. Hey, we did a road trip to Chicago. We should go do a road trip to wherever this guy is at, and buy him a beer.
I already know where he's at. The word's already out. I know where he's at. He's in Southern California.
So let's go. Let's go. We can hang out with Mark Susi, cat guy in Irvine.
We could.
Where is he at? Camp Pendleton?
Yeah.
All right. They're standing by. Oh man, Papa Smurf's mom is getting railed tonight. Oh. I know this is a serious conversation, but we have to. I wrote it down. Dark humor. The dark humor is what gets us through all of this stuff. The dark humor is when things are so bleak and dark, and the light is going out. It's the humor that we use to cope and to get through with it. I remember. I was brutal. I was brutal to you when I first every time that I came to see you at Walter Reed. One, it's the shock value that we love, but at the same time, it's like you're my brother, and you're my flesh, and you are.
Don't get all homo on me, will you?
I'm not. I'm just saying you're part of like the symbol that is our family. And to see you in that situation, your brain doesn't know how to react to it. And so, I remember walking in there, and I remember you had the first day you had your leg amputated. And I walked in there, and it was like, who do I have to talk to get a leg up around here? Or the day after you got both of your legs taken, it was like, Eric, you really should stand up for yourself around here, because this kind of stuff is going to keep happening. Like, just
considering everything, you should really try putting your best foot forward.
And Kim was with me, and she was mortified. She was like, I cannot believe that you were saying that to this person that has gone through what he's gone through, and your response to her was, what do you have, a low self-esteem? And she was like, what? And you were like, hanging out with that guy? Clearly you have to have a low self-esteem to hang out with that guy. So it's that, again, going up against the wheel of woe, it's that kind of being able to shrug it off in that fashion, that even when it hurts, we laugh about it so that it cannot take control of us. You cannot allow the darkness to consume you. You have to make fun of the darkness. And that's the only way that, for me anyway, I don't want to speak for anybody. Certainly I don't want to speak for anybody in the chat room. I don't want to speak for you. But for me, I deal with the darkness by laughing at it. Because if I don't laugh at it, I cry and I break down, and the depression overtakes me. And then, as much as I would want to get on the wheel of woe, I would be immobilized. So we laugh at it, and when you laugh at it, you don't give it any power. And I learned that in, almost 20 years of EMS. You laugh at it, or else it consumes you. So.
I'll tell you, Aaron, Travis Mills, when he told me that he's not always positive, it took a lot of pressure off. Because I realized then that here's a guy that I truly admire and just, admire isn't even the word, just really, he's overcome so much. But for him to say, hey, look, I'm not always positive. It's huge. It really is. I'm not always positive. But that doesn't give me an excuse to not try to snap out of it, to try not to get better, to try not to improve my situation or improve somebody else's situation. It's you don't have to be 10 feet tall and bulletproof all the time. You don't have to be happy all the time. In fact, it's not healthy for a person to think that they should be happy all the time. But what's important is that you recognize the times that you aren't unhappy and you start developing ways to get you where you need to be. And that's what's huge, and that's what's important. And if you can't do it yourself, then that's when you need archery, or that's when you need a good brother, or that's when you need friends. Even if it's just calling them on the phone or sending them a text message. There's some really cheesy things out there, especially on Instagram, that says, hey, good morning, sunshine. I just want you to know that today might start out dark, but people love you. You're going to go attack today, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Just like, so nobody likes a bitch. Quit being a bitch and let's go attack today together, or remember, your name is Aaron effing Burkett, and own that shit and let's go. You'd be surprised if you just forward that to 3 or 4 people, how many times people would say, man, I really needed that this morning. And then if you have a little bit more time, do something a little bit more personal and send something to them instead of just a forward, but just like, hey, brother, I love you. Hope you have a good day.
Papa Smurf calls me on his way into work every day because he's 3 hours behind. So when he calls me, it's usually about 10:30. I look forward to that phone call.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. Like I get kind of like depressed because he's a mechanic, and so he works Tuesday through Saturday. He's off on Sunday and Monday. So when I'm working on Monday, it's usually like a horror. It's not as good a day, not just because it's Monday, but because I know that I'm not going to get a phone call from Eric. But the point of the story is at the end of that conversation, because it takes him a half an hour to get to work. So I get to talk to him for a half an hour. And when he arrives to work, he always says, hey, man, kick this day in the dick. Make this day your bitch. Or it's going to be a great day for you. Like he says that every time. And then it's just kind of like, yeah, all right, peace. And then we hang up. But it's that little that shot in the arm that goes, yeah, you know what? Like not only am I going to own this day, but I got somebody in my corner that is encouraging me to make this day my day. And it is so empowering on a subconscious level for me, because it's not something that I'm just like, oh, Papa Smurf said that I'm going to have a great day today. No, it's just, yeah, man. Yeah, let's do this. Let's take this day. So, and so then I always bust his balls when it's a Monday, because I'm just like, oh, today's Monday. Today's going to suck. Thanks. And it's all because of you. I don't know. Keith has an archery question. Picture of your purple arrows, the bouquet of violets, if you will.
Yes.
Are the feathers solid?
Yes. So it's the most common fletching material these days is plastic. The different levels of urethane change how flexible or stiff they are depending on what you want. But predominantly the vanes of today are made out of plastic. There are still some guys that shoot feathers You certainly don't want to shoot feathers at long distance. It bleeds energy too quick. But for shorter distances, especially like indoors, where you're not dealing with a lot of crosswind stuff or longer distances, a lot of guys still use feathers because it'll stabilize the arrow quicker. But the trade-off is it slows the arrow down quicker. Plus, feathers, are made by nature, so there is a level of just inherent defect in them. There's slight differences in tolerance, whereas something that's molded and then cut can have pretty tight tolerances. So the ones that you see are made from Q2i industries or Q2i veins. It's one of the few or the only company out there that uses two materials, one for the cup, which is what the part that attaches to the vein or to the shaft of the arrow, and it needs to be supple. And then the actual airfoil, the part that sticks up, is a stiffer material, so it holds up better to forces acting against it, like wind resistance, and it allows the arrow to spin quicker, which helps the arrow stabilize faster. Q2i is the only company that makes it like that. Those are it's a 1.5 inch 4 fletch Q2i veins in violet. Hope that answers your question. But I don't think there's. I would say probably in excess of 95% of all arrows out there have some form of a plastic vein on there. Oh, right on. Muzzy.
Are you familiar with Muzzy?
Yep. I don't use Muzzy broadheads, but I'm familiar with them. It's a very common broadhead. Probably, if you look at the history of broadheads, it's probably the most purchased broadhead in the U.S., maybe even the world. I don't know, but very popular, especially back in the 80s and 90s. Muzzies were a go-to.
Speaking of broadheads, and I would say the use of broadheads, Alex called me yesterday, and I do believe that we have some pretty huge things happening in the world of 3D targets that I'm very, very excited to be a part of. Big things are happening from Phoenix. We are not just a car detailing chemical company. We do. We actually have ventured into a whole bunch of different paths and industries, and I'm happy to say that looks like we have some pretty big horizons coming up for 3D archery. That's I'm excited about. We can talk about it off the air. Obviously, I don't want to give away any trade secrets until it's come time, but that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, if there's any archers out there, you need to check out Whiffler Industries. They've got a whole line of products that are actually supported by Phoenix E.O.D, whether it's string armor or arrow armor. They're coming out with that new lubricant.
Arrow Ease is due to make its debut here at the Lancaster Classic in January. So a brand new product by Whiffler Industries, manufactured by Phoenix E.O.D. Arrow Ease will be, like I said, making its debut in.
I'll be out there. I think, Aaron, you're going to be there for part of it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you get a room for two, like last year.
Stop in.
Not this doubling up in a king bed, you queer. Oh, Detailed Dog is in the house. All right, a couple of things. All right, so first and foremost, I want to mention Adrian. Adrian just showed up. Where is he? Hello, fam, from Adrian. This guy is a fireball. You want to talk about an up-and-coming fireball in the detailing world? I love this guy's energy. He's been working with me on a bunch of marketing stuff. Just a super classy guy. I can't say enough about Adrian. His energy surpasses even mine, which it doesn't say much, but I mean, he's got lots. He's got lots of energy, and his patience level, which is paramount when dealing with me. you have to have a tremendous amount of patience because I am all over the map 100% of the time. I'm in 1,000 different directions. So Adrian, special shout out to you. Thank you so much for working with me. Thank you for your patience. I look forward to working with you, in 2024. Some great things are happening. Adrian, I don't know if I'm breaking a rule by talking about this. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it or not talk about it, but Adrian has been working to get Phoenix as a GIF so that when you go to your little GIF selection stuff and you type in like Phoenix or whatnot, Phoenix E.O.D is going to be a gift that you can send out and about. And I pretty much owe it 100% to Adrian. So thank you, Adrian. Much love. Oh, also Southern California guy, San Diego-esque area. So he's a little bit farther south than to Mark and you and I that we are familiar with. But anyway, thanks, Adrian. Appreciate you. And then I want to pivot to Detail It's in the house. Boom, this guy, Detail Doug. He's going to be with us next week, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Western. He's going to be bringing up the fourth and final week of the Rise from the Ashes Pay It Forward campaign. Doug is, like I said, he's got more energy than anybody I know. Calls it like he sees it. He's a patriot. Love this guy. Anybody that can match my insane humor is near and dear to me. And Doug and I believe that he is definitely a kindred spirit to me, and I truly have appreciated his friendship. He promotes Phoenix. He enjoys Phoenix. And the best part about Doug is that he calls it like he sees it. So if I tell him something's going to happen and it doesn't happen, he gives me a, hey, man, what's going on with this? Or he says, I called Aaron. I talked to Aaron. Aaron said this is supposed to behave this way. It behaved this way. He gets a checkbox. So I look forward to hanging out with Doug next week. I think it's going to be a really good time. He's got such energy and such a sense of humor that is rivaled only to myself and Pop Smurf. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with Doug next week. Like I said, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Western, next Saturday, bringing in the fourth and final week of the Pay It Forward Rise from the Ashes second annual campaign. Make sure you guys donate. There's only 2 weeks left to donate. You don't have to have a super sob story. It could be anybody for any reason. Nominate them. Let us know why they're being nominated. And you send that nomination entry to info@phoenixeod.com. Info@phoenixeod.com is where the nomination should go. DMs usually get lost. And just ask Al about the just ask Silverado about passing along that information over to Eric about Sergeant Major Alvarez. DMs get forgotten and lost about because I am a goldfish, as all of my friends tell me. Hey man, you're a goldfish. I told you about this 30 minutes ago and you've already forgotten about it. So that's what I got. We are now at 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm not sure what else you want to talk about, Eric, if anything. Does anybody else have any questions for Eric? Now's the time to ask him. He's got great stories. He wasn't always, Lieutenant Dan. He wasn't always Lieutenant Dan. So, we could talk about his Eric the Terrible days. We could talk about all the horrible things that he ever did to me growing up. We could talk about.
Oh, my internet connection's going bad. Hold on.
I'm going through a tunnel. Hold on. Yes, one thing. Super Auto, what is CRS? Crazy rabbit syndrome. Eric, one more story about a fake tough guy needing to get taught a lesson by you.
I don't deal with fake people.
Yeah, but no, dude, there's a great story. How about this? How about we tell the story about the dude that asked you what your pronouns were? That's one of my favorite. Oh, can't remember shite. Can't remember shite syndrome. Got it. Yeah. CRS. Anyway, the guy that asked you about your pronouns, tell that story. That's a fun one.
Did I respond to him? I can't even remember.
Somebody stepped in and was like, dude, he's going to kill you.
Where was I? I don't.
You were at an archery shoot. Some archer came up to you and was just like, "Hey man, or he didn't say hey man, obviously. He was just like, what are your pronouns so that I can address you appropriately?" And you were like, "Are you effing serious right now, bro? Like, are you serious?" And then somebody apparently came in and was just like, "Are you seriously asking Trainwreck what his pronouns are? Walk away, dude. Walk away."
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I vaguely remember that, and I want to say it was a college student, trying to be PC. The first time he talked to me, as far as, and I don't know if I was necessarily in a coaching environment, but I do a lot of work, whether it's with prosthetics or occupational therapy, with some of the graduate students in the area. But yeah, it was something like that, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me? Am I giving off some kind of a feminine vibe? Is there, what's going on?" And then somebody jumped in because they could tell I was about to lose it. But guy at the bar that traded punches, is that one of the ones that got my call sign? We didn't trade punches. I just took some to the face.
You took some to the face?
I told you that story. Got a guy in the bar that he couldn't knock me down with 5 punches?
No, I don't think I've heard this story. I mean, you might have told me the story. One of the side effects of me dying back in '94 is that I don't remember jack crap.
So part of the Trainwreck story is I'm playing rugby for Camp Lejeune. And on Thursday nights after practice, we went to Kelsey's Pub in Emerald Isle, North Carolina, and we did what we call stink and drink, have a couple beers, go over some administrative stuff, get to know the new guys, that kind of thing. Pretty social. And for the most part, we were, had our own little place in the bar, in the back there. But this one particular night, there was a local, at least as far as we could tell, a local, certainly not a Marine. And he was talking a lot of trash, especially to one of our younger players. We called this kid the boy because he had such a baby face. But now, he was a Marine corporal, infantry, tattooed like it was cool, and just an all-around tough kid. But we called him the boy. He was wearing a kilt that night. I think a couple of us were. Well, this one guy was just, for whatever reason, latched onto the boy and kept saying dumb stuff like, "Hey, Marines are, just a marketing thing. They're really not that tough. They're not special. The Army can do everything that Marines can do," or this and the other thing. Just kind of like, being a jerk for no reason whatsoever, talking out his rear end. Well, douchebag keeps going, and the boy tries to disarm it. To his credit, instead of punching this guy in the face, the boy says to him, "Hey man, if you don't like Marines, that's cool. Think of us as just a bunch of rugby players in here trying to, have a couple beers." And this guy just totally took it and ran with it, and he said, "You must really think you're tough, being Marines and rugby players. You're like the toughest of the tough." Just really wouldn't let this thing drop, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I stand up. And I was next to one of the other senior guys on the team, Brian McHugh, and he grabs me by the arm, and he says, "No, don't do it."
I can already tell where this is going. And apparently I've heard this story, but I don't remember it. But I know where this is going. Oh, my God.
I said to Brian, "I'm not going to touch him." So he finally let me go, and I walk over to this guy, and I threw $50 out on the table in front of him, and I said, "Hey, asshole, I want to test your theory. bet me 50, or I'll bet you $50 that you can't knock me down with 5 punches. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to give you 5 chances to knock me down. And if you can't, I keep the money and you can shut up. If you can keep the money and talk shit all night long. And he's got this like little crackhead girlfriend with him. She's like, yeah, F him up. Knock his dumb ass out. And he's like, well, you're going to hit me or your buddies are going to hit me. I said, nope, nobody's going to hit you. The only person throwing punches is you. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to stand in front of you. I'm not going to move. Finally, after some debate, he finally agreed to do it. So we're all circled up there in the back, and I'm standing in front. The only thing I'm doing is I've got my nuts covered with my hands. I'm standing in front of him, very similar to this. And his first punch, pretty good punch, catches me here on the side of the head. Pretty good punch. It was kind of swelled up a little bit. No big deal. His second punch, to this day, can't figure out why he did it, but I'm standing there like this, like I said, and he punches me right below the chest, right on the ribs. I don't know if he was aiming for my solar plexus and he missed or what. Maybe thought I was going to move. I don't know, but he catches me on the ribs. Dumb punch, whatever. I said, well, you got to do better than that. And I could see something in his mind. It clicked. He said, hey, this guy really isn't going to move. So his third punch, he steps back a little bit, and if you've ever seen Happy Gilmore, he kind of has this like little step up, but instead of like swinging a golf club, he swings his fist. He comes from way, way back, and it just, and I see it just kind of tracing across the sky, and I see it's coming. It's going to hit me right in the same spot as the first one, and it does. Boom. Why 5? Because I didn't want to go for 10, but anyway, catches me in the same exact spot.
You're such a
splits the side of my head wide open, like a Rocky Balboa. Boom! I'm split open, and I can feel the blood dripping off my chin. It's a hot mess, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm an idiot. But hey, because I'm a Marine and retarded, I just said, you got 2 more. You better make them count. And this kid like holds up his hand and goes, I don't think I can. And it looked like his hand had eaten a grapefruit. It was so swollen. I said to him, with blood dripping off my face, I said to him, use your left hand. And he said, I can't. I'm done. So his little crackhead girlfriend, she's all upset, whatever. Q grabs the money off the table. And I think I said, now you can shut the fuck up. Excuse me.
You have never told me this story.
This is a part of the Trainwreck
story.
So this is part of the Trainwreck story. It's one of the ways I got my call sign. One of the many ways. So anyway,
I just thought it was because you drove like an idiot.
What's that?
I just thought it was because you flew like an idiot. I remember it was like a toss-up between Anvil and Trainwreck.
It has nothing to do with flying.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, we got an extra $50, which means, hey, we can drink a little bit longer, right? So it was kind of cool too because the bouncers came in and I didn't throw any punches. So what did the bouncers do? They threw the other dude and his girlfriend out, so they're kicked out. We have more money to buy beer with. We drive some more beer. Anyway, I've got to go do something with the side of my face. So we go outside, and every rugby player with assault has its own like little mini medical kit, and we start busting out the steri strips, like the little plastic sticky things. And
yeah, sure.
We're butterflying my face back together. Go back in, finish off the beer. Now, mind you, it's Thursday night. I got to go to work tomorrow morning. All of us have to be at work tomorrow morning. So, standard operating procedure. I spend the night at McHugh's house. I get up the next morning early, and I'm looking at my face. And it's literally like drunk monkeys steri strip the side of my face. Because there's steri strips that aren't even on the wound. It's stuck to the side of my head. The problem is, though, my face has been bleeding and seeping all night. So everything's like this big, gooey, nasty mess. It hurts to try to peel the ones off. I say, you know what? I take a hot shower, but I can't stay in there very long because I got to get to work. And I get some of them off, but finally I just said, screw it. I'm just going to go to work like it is. and put on my flight suit. I head into work. Of course, I show up and everybody's like, "Whoa, whoa, what happened?" I go, "Oh, rugby," and they're like, "You're retarded," you know. Anyway,
Yes, you are. You are retarded, but not for those reasons.
I get down to the office and my boss is there. Yeah, the Swede. Swede was an idiot. I was an animal. So plus I was an officer at the time too. Yikes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get down to my office and my boss is there. Captain Griggs, Eric Griggs, he went on to be a squadron CO. Really good dude. Anyway, he's like, "Holy shit, man, what happened to your face?" So I tell him the story. You know, you don't lie to your boss. Well, what I didn't take into consideration was the fact that his call sign was muzzle, because he can't keep his mouth shut about anything. So I might as well have just told the whole squadron at once, because within about 20 minutes, everybody in the squadron knows why my face is all battered and bruised and black and seeping and nasty. So yeah. Then I got to go get lectured by the operations officer behind the closed doors. It was pretty good. It's a good time.
Did you just stick to your story that it was rugby? It was a rugby injury. Sorry, sir.
No. When I told Eric Griggs, Captain Griggs, my boss, I told him the real story. I told him about how this guy, you know, I bet him he couldn't knock me down. He didn't. He never got to 5. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but the question, I mean, Ryan asks a legitimate question. Why pick the number 5? Like, why not like 3?
It just came to my head. I said 5.
Give me your best punch.
3, 1. I didn't want him to like. I don't want him to feel the pressure of having to put all his eggs in one basket. I was trying to be considerate or something. I don't know.
Such an animal. You are truly a caveman. You really are. Oh, but dude, that's a great story. And I know you've never told me that story, because I would have remembered. I can't punch you anymore. My hands don't work.
Seriously, he rolled his hand over and it was just like, whoa. Whoa!
I know there's like this thing on Instagram / TikTok now where it's like the big slap knockout where it's just like, 1, 2, 3, bravo! It goes back and forth. But that's next level, dude. I'll give you 3 punches to anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heck, I think if you can find Brian McHugh or Edelyn Parker, I'm trying to think. I can't remember what the boy's first name was, but Scooby was there. Boo Brown was there. I mean, there was an audience. There's witnesses. So yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that that's the truth. Like, there's one thing that I've known about you my whole life, and that's your code of honor. For good or ill, like I know that you've always, regardless of how much pain that it'll cause to you, you have been honest and you're an honorable person. You might be a dick, but you're an honorable person. And there's no doubt in my mind that that's a true story. That's what makes it so great and so funny, is that there's zero doubt that it's 100% true. I can see it. I mean, Eric, I've known you for nigh 50 years, and I've always said this guy is 90% emotion, 10% thought. Just you
give me that much thought? That's a lot.
I know it is, but I mean, you were able to fly a plane, which I'm amazed at. I am. I always said that you would probably be commandant of the Marine Corps if you had gone infantry. There's no doubt in my mind. But anyway, an honorable dick. Exactly. An honorable dick. All right. So now we are approaching the 2.5 hour mark. I'm sure you could regale us with 1,000 other stories of your Marine Corps heyday.
I can tell you the whole Trainwreck call sign story.
What would you say at this what? Trainwreck call sign story?
Trainwreck call sign story, but that'll be another time.
All right. Well, then we'll have you back on. Curmudgeon Corner, I don't see any reason for it to end. There's always great stories out there, great personalities out there. I hope that every Curmudgeon's Corner that we do contributes to something, to somebody in some way, shape, or form, be it detailing knowledge, be it inspirational stories. The original idea behind the Curmudgeon's Corner, the Curmudgeon's Corner, by the way, the name comes from my wife, who thinks that I am a curmudgeon about everything. And she's not wrong, because I am. I'm just angry. Like, I honestly, I try to emulate Grandpa in every way, shape, or form. I embrace how much I hate the world that we live in. Anyway, but I think that ultimately, what I originally wanted this channel to be about, it didn't have to be detailing. I didn't want it to be just detailing. I wanted it to be people with great stories, small businesses, rising from the ashes, people that have embraced their destiny. I found a great. I'm not going to reveal the word tonight on public live stream, but yesterday, one of Brian's boys introduced me to a word that's probably going to be the name of my next product, if not at least a product somewhere down the line. And
Swifty?
it is
Is it Swifty?
no, it's a beautiful word. It's the opposite of luck. And man, it spoke to me. And as soon as he said it to me, I was like, that's it. That's the next word. It's the opposite of luck. And I remember, Dad, since we were young, Dad has always said, Miller Detailing, been listening to you guys, but not commenting. The boys on Cell Block C really like Apex soap. Have a hard.
Hey, it takes a long time to pick up.
And it's hard to remove the lather. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, it's a great word, and it's the opposite of luck. And what Dad always said is that luck doesn't exist. We make our own. We make our own luck, and that's true. EC Details in the house. What's going on, man? I'm glad that we were able. That's the reason why we go so long on these live streams, is that we try to throw a wide net so that everybody can join in. Plus, I'm also drunk, so it doesn't really matter. What's dumb? Keith, what's dumb? EC Details, what's good? Peleus Panel Prep is good. That's what it is. It's a shameless plug. If Eric's going to plug AIDS Nation, I'm going to plug Peleus Panel Prep as the best panel prep that has ever been created. It's affordable and unbelievable. I was having a conversation with Chelsea from Attention to Detail, and she said, "Are you telling me that it will strip a sealant?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, absolutely." And she said, "There's only one other product that I know of that can do that. And if you can do that and be at the price point that you're at, this is clearly a winner." I can tell you that I have a machine that I use to mass produce the products now. Like, we went from like 2,000 bottles a week to 2,000 bottles a day using this machine. And we had made a run on Titan, and I had left it sitting for 2 weeks. There was so much going on gearing up for Black Friday that we did a Titan run, got it all into Amazon, and then I just let the machine sit. And when I came back to it and I had to make something else, I had to clean this machine out, and all of a sudden it's got all this Titan residue on there. It's cured all along the sides of the walls and up in the tubes and the whole 9 yards. And so I EC, and so put some Peleus Panel Prep through the machine, and I ran it through the machine, and I'm telling you, it melted the stuff like it was unbelievable the way it cut through Titan. I was like, I know this sounds stupid to be like, but it surpassed even my expectations. I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna have to get in there and I'm gonna have to scrub and I'm gonna have to use the power washer and blow out all that stuff and blah 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 blah. And it was just, I used the panel prep on the machine, and it just melted the residue like it was. And we're talking about like built up residue, because all of the stuff that was left over was just sitting in the machine for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, it sat there. I was amazed. Aaron is drinking bullet as always. That is correct, Superado. That is not even a trivia question. That is a fact. Citral. What does that mean? Citral.
I don't know, but when I'm using Peleus, one of the things that I do to keep from getting dehydrated is I drink plenty of this.
You're such a queer. Oh my gosh. I'm probably going to get canceled because I called you queer twice. Here you go. Look, another shameless plug. Major Trainer. Use Major Trainwreck at checkout for AIDsNation.com. For what did you say? 15% off.
15% off.
Yeah.
If you're looking for an all-natural electrolyte replacement thing that you can read all the ingredients and know what they are, nothing artificial, no added anything, try out Aid Nation.
Well, Adrian, you used it today. What did you think of it? You can't just leave us hanging in suspense. It's not gay if you close your eyes. Depends on if you're the receiver or the pitcher. Everybody's talking in like incomplete sentences. What's Chelsea's other product? Oh, you want to know what she compared it to? I don't know. Like, I hate promoting other people's stuff, but it was Fireball. She said, if your Peleus can do what you say it can do, there's only one other product out there, and it's Peleus. And Peleus beat the balls off of Fireball, and that's because of the price point. So, I mean, if you're talking like, does it work as good, if not better, and it's cheaper than, in my book, it's a win. Boop, boop, boop. Anyway, Adrian, come on, man. What did you think? Citral. I don't think I've ever heard of Citral. If Citral, just based upon the name Citral, I would imagine that they're probably using a D-limonene. D-limonene is a chemical, has a natural citrus scent to it. It's an orange extract. It makes for a really, really good degreaser. Just based upon the name, he's biased. You're not biased. If it sucked, I would expect you to tell me that it sucked. Citron is great, except in California where it's watered down. Citral 266. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the product, but I'm just I'm speculating based upon the name Citrol. It probably has like a very orange scent to it, and if it does have an orange scent to it, it most likely has a D-limonene chemical, which is like I said, it's a great degreaser, but that's pretty much what it is. It's just a degreaser. And, as far as a panel prep is concerned, I'd rather have something that goes after a swath of problems. All right, so I'm starting to feel the apple juice a little bit, so I apologize to everybody that's still here. All 15 people that are still here, I apologize if I'm slurring or whatnot, but when it comes to chemistry, there are certain things that impact differently. If you look at like Dawn dish soap, the reason why it cuts through grease as well as it does is because it is chemically designed to go after normal food fatty acids that are from food, which are called lipids. And what it does is it actually breaks apart the cell. It dissolves the cell, which breaks apart the fatty acid or the fat grease. And that's why Dawn works as well as it does. It breaks apart that fat. Degreasers, again, they go after like petroleum based problems very, very, very well. And then and so, but with the Peleus panel prep, because we use a whole, it's not a 50-50 IPA. It's not a 50-50 IPA. There's actually, a bunch of different chemicals that go into it so that it attacks different residues or sealants or waxes or all of those, like the oils, the polishing oils. It attacks all of them to get them all out of the way, and it has a good flash point so that it gets it out of the way and gets it out of the way quickly. So it worked. Like with all of our Phoenix products, we tried to lay down such a what's the word I'm looking for? Versatile. They're all of our products are very versatile, depending on how you're trying to use it. But with the Peleus panel prep, we wanted to go after all kinds of different panel issues effectively, and you can't do it by just relying on one chemical to go after that problem. Anyway, there wasn't a question there, but I just felt like offering up. Yeah, from apple juice, exactly. About to use it tomorrow. The panel prep. You are going to Love It EC. Been using it for some time now. Yeah, like I said, Adrian has been since he got into the game with me. He's been using all of our products. He bought a bunch of our products from our West Coast distributor, and Adrian's got some really, really big ideas about what he wants to do as far as supporting the West Coast Phoenix brand, and I'm excited to be working with him. And I don't want to give away too much because I don't have his permission to give away too much. But I'm really excited to be working with Adrian. He's a good dude. Anybody else have any questions? We're approaching almost 3 hours. We're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. We should probably give away another giveaway, something that Keith Firebird won't get because he's already won 2 tonight. I think he should be disqualified from winning anything else, just because. I mean, make it fair for the rest of us, Keith. One removed sealants from Italy. So you bought a product that was a sealant and it was made in Italy, and I suppose you're saying, like, I'm just speculating, EC, that Italy makes a better sealant than anywhere else in the world. Is that what you're saying? So that's what it sounds like you're saying. Just because Italy makes Rupes doesn't make them the Ferrari of everything. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Keith, you're not banned. Oh, you have a panel prep from Italy that removes sealants. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, I'm telling you right now that Peleus does that exact same thing, and I would imagine, since it's made here in America, in New Jersey, in West Berlin, New Jersey, it's probably considerably cheaper, is all I'm saying.
And better. Just saying.
And better. Doug, I'll take a Flex. I have not worked with Flex. I know that Flex makes an absolutely phenomenal polisher. I have not worked with them. I have a Shine Mate that I really love, but again, I'm not trying to make my mortgage off of detailing. So as far as I would consider myself to be a weekend warrior. The Shine Mate works very, very well for me. It was recommended to me by Eric Papa Smurf. I bought it from Carzilla. Shine Mate stands by their stuff, and for my needs, it works extremely well. But again, if you are, if you're a full-time detailer, mobile or otherwise, I don't know what's the best out there. I just, money versus value versus, results. I don't know what the best is out there. Fab is in the house. Fab, we gave you a lot of shout outs, especially to fabautomotivesupplies.com, fabautomotivesupplies.com, fabautomotivesupplies.com for all of your Midwestern Phoenix E.O.D needs. He's also got a bunch of other stuff out there from vastly inferior companies, but you can get what you're looking for from fabautomotivesupplies.com. Fab is a horseman. He's been with me from the beginning. He, again, has been a source of encouragement and motivation. I absolutely love his friendship, and I find his friendship to be invaluable. We talk very, 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 very often about all things, anything related, from family to business. As a matter of fact, Fab was actually very instrumental in helping me get gift cards on the website. We had a bunch of people inquiring about gift cards. I had no idea about what to do. I know that he offers gift cards to fabautomotivesupplies.com on his website, and he inspired me to get gift cards on our website. So if you're looking for that last minute Christmas gift, if you log into phoenixeod.com and you go to the gift cards, you can select the day that you would like that gift card to be delivered. It goes right to their email inbox, and you can give them in multiple different denominations for whatever you think their detailing needs are. Fab does have an excellent logo. I might say that I was a little instrumental in getting him that logo. I had nothing to do with the logo, except I got him in contact with my designer who designed Phoenix E.O.D logo. And there's nothing that San can't do. My designer's name is San. He's out of Malaysia. He is absolutely phenomenal. As a matter of fact, Eric, I don't know what you're doing with the internally compelled t-shirt, but he also designed internally compelled's logo, Fab's logo, Papa Smurf's logo, Apex Auto Detailing's logo, my former company's logo. If you're looking for a great logo that is quality, that is going to stand the test of time, hit me up, email me, aaron@phoenixeod.com, and I will put you in contact with San. He is a god amongst mortals. Full show. Used Fab polish today with a Euro 50/50. Works so damn good. You know, again, it was one of the absolutely beautiful things of being friends with Fab before Phoenix existed, is that I was able to tap into his expertise and his friendship, and was able to work hand in hand with Fab as we developed the Fab finishing polish. And obviously we needed to make things up to their specifications. So when we were doing product design, it was they have the final sign off on the product. If it doesn't meet their expectations, if it doesn't meet their standards, we keep revising the formula. And I can't thank Brian enough. So Fab, thanks for tuning in and supporting the channel. We're actually at 19 viewers, or 18 viewers now. 19 viewers, which is more than what we started out with. So thanks, everybody. If you could do me a favor and smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It doesn't really translate to anything because I am not monetarily supported by this channel. It's just a way for me to hang out with you guys, let you guys know what Phoenix is doing, what we're all about. And again, we're really just trying to promote the Pay It Forward campaign. We want people to nominate people. We want to do something good during the holiday seasons for people that just might need a little bit of a pat on the back, a leg up, a helping hand. So anyway, if you have any questions left for my brother, I would appreciate you chiming in now. We're approaching the 3-hour mark. I think I'm about done. The apple juice has definitely hit me. I'm going to have another one, by the way, because I am broadcasting from home tonight, which I'm normally at the headquarters, and I have to think about the 40-minute drive home. But now that I'm home and I'm broadcasting this live stream, I can have as much apple juice as I want without, worried about having to drive 40 minutes. But let's, if you have any questions. Yes. I think you froze with that big stupid A. But anyway, the point of that story is Trainwreck in Paris 2024. That's what we're going for. Trainwreck in Paris 2024. Eric, so Trainwreck, what is God, your internet connection sucks so bad. You are 16-bit at best. But anyway, what is on the agenda? What is on the horizon for Trainwreck getting to Paris? I know that you have a big shoot in April, but what happens between now and April?
It involves a lot of staying up late, talking to people on podcasts, shamelessly promoting some of these products. No, just kidding. Really, something exciting just happened here not too long ago. A friend of mine purchased a building that he's running. He's a mechanic who specializes in transmissions. And anyway, part of this building, there's a hallway in the back that's over 50 meters long, and he found out that I was looking for a place to shoot, so he's moved a whole bunch of stuff around. I'll post it on Instagram if you guys want to check it out. But I feel like Rocky from Rocky IV, where a lot of these guys are going and training at the Olympic Training Center, and maybe out in Salt Lake at some of the big center there, or in Florida where the weather's really nice. And I'm training in this back hallway.
Apollo Creed gets punched in the head and dies. Is that what you're referring to?
No, I'm referring to training.
Oh,
they're in the barn basically, but it's a hallway. I'll post all these pictures tomorrow, but it's pretty cool. I got 50 meters to shoot indoors, out of the rain, out of the snow, out of the driving wind, all winter long, which I haven't had before, which would be great. So I've been doing that. I've had some pretty awesome sponsors who have, let me use, or given me gear to experiment with to see what works best. And I've been working with the coach out in Phoenix. I've been out there twice now, visiting with him and working on stuff and using the training plans, and just trying to progress and get better and shoot my little fanny off. So that's really the big press. So Paris is towards the end of the road. My journey's really going to start in April when I go to my first trials. Stage 1 of trials is in Phoenix, Arizona, first weekend in April. I'll be out there competing against anybody and everybody who has any kind of Paralympic aspirations. And then after that, they narrow it to 8, and then we go through 2 trials after that, and where we battle it out against each other. And at the end, there'll be 2, and those 2 will go to the Paralympics. And I have every intention of being one of those 2.
So when is Paris 2024?
End of August, beginning of September.
All right. So should I book my flights now, or I am your legalized aero agent.
You are.
I paid my $35 so that I know that you're not grooming me for, anything prison related.
We did talk about picking up the soap and prison sex, things that I didn't know if I was ready for or not. Just saying. So maybe I am grooming you. Or you type in now. But anyway, to keep the conversation going,
I'm trolling Fab.
So anyway, so yeah, lots of shooting, lots of experimenting with different pieces of equipment, lots of interaction with some with one super terrific coach, and a lot of support, not just from Phoenix E.O.D, but from a lot of my sponsors out there. You know, not to.
Go ahead with your shit.
So,
Nobody can read it anyway on your pixelated live stream. Go ahead.
True Ball Excel, check it out for releases, sights, stabilizers, you name it. Want to put some good glass into your equipment, you can't go wrong. Actually, you can't do better than clear targets. Just a tremendous product for magnification. You got Black Eagle arrows. You got Sure Shot for all kinds of archery needs, to include my tungsten points that are in my arrows that keep the weight up front nice and tight when we like it. We already talked about Q2I arrows. Good night. See you, Miller. Love you, brother. Tell your mom I said hi.
Mom jokes. Top rope.
But yeah, so much like Hoyt Archery makes the best bows in the world. And they do so much for veterans out there. And just I don't know. There's a ton. So those are the big ones that come off the top of my head. American Whitetail Targets, Last Chance Archery for all my shop tools and stuff, whether I'm building arrows or working on my bows. And then, like I said,
Eric, if you can email me all of these names that you're listing, I will put them in the description below, so that people can click on these people that are supporting you.
Absolutely.
I would love my people to support the people that are supporting you. You know, you are my true family, and there's nothing I want more than to see you in Paris in 2024. And if these guys can support you through supporting them, then it's all the better. Again, we are the Phoenix family, and we take care of each other. And if anybody needs anything at all, you always just reach out to, I know Fab Automotive Detailing. He has a support group in IG, and that anybody that needs anybody can always just reach out to all of us. So. Again, we're supporting each other by supporting those that support us. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
no, you're fine.
I needed to say that.
I was just going to say, I'm trying to grow your family, because in that building that it was bought, there's a space that he's getting ready, and I think he's going to move the guy in this spring, but he's a detailer. Kind of an amateur detailer, so I can't wait to give him the sales pitch for Phoenix E.O.D.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what we do. Like professional grade that makes it look good, look easy for anybody. And then Firebird just had one last question. Have you heard of the auto load bow whip shot? What is that?
I've seen it. I mean, if you don't care about accuracy, I would say yeah. Fling a whole bunch of arrows at whatever you're trying to hit, and hopefully you'll get there. But literally, when you're trying to hit a circle that's that big, 1.5 inches in diameter, that's over half a football field away, I don't think the whip shot's going to be the answer to it. But I could be wrong.
Okay, but let's look at like Lance, for example. Lance is a Paralympic athlete,
national team level athlete. Yes,
thank you. He is missing a hand.
Yes.
Again, he's a wounded vet. He's part of the whole paramilitary situation. He has this unbelievably cool, unique pole where, he hooks it with his prosthetic. And then from what you told me, he releases it with his mouth by pushing it with his tongue. Is that right?
No, just
his jaw.
with his jaw.
Yeah, all right. So he pushes it with his jaw, and that releases the bow. So he is competing on an Olympian level by pushing with the jaw. So do you think that the auto load would help him? Yes or no?
I don't think so, because he's still got to be accurate. I mean, would it help his time come down? But I mean, he's so efficient now with just one hand that he's able to load his bow and get all of his arrows off in the time allotted, usually without any difficulty. But I mean, it boils down to accuracy. You can shoot 50 arrows off, but if you're not putting them in the middle every time, I mean, it's that competitive. You've got to be on your game to be in the top.
All right, and then I guess we have hit 3 hours, and I want to end the show with this last question from Super Auto. He wants to know what the heck is going on with Internally Compelled website to order the shirts yet. Like, we're all asking the same questions. As far as the Wheel of Woe is concerned, you have been slacking on the Internally Compelled.
I got run over by the Wheel of Woe. I've got run over by the Wheel of Woe when it comes to that. But hey, and I'll tell you, not to throw out excuses, but my defense is this: prior to making this commitment for going to the Paralympics, I had a lot of time on my hands.
It's true.
Now that I've made this commitment, I'm either at the range in my basement, I'm working on arrows, working on bows, or I'm at the range downtown shooting.
Okay.
I mean,
so what you're saying is, come
priorities.
October of 2024, there's going to be a concerted effort to get Internally Compelled.
Well, hopefully before that, because my wife did say that she was working at trying to get the website built. She's got a guy that's helping her out. So hopefully it comes fairly soon. But it's just that I don't have as much visibility on the project as I have had in the past. So
okay,
but should be. You're certainly not the first person that's asked me about Internally Compelled website. I apologize. There's like some very, I don't know, amateur level stuff there on the internet as far as Internally Compelled on Instagram. There's a couple examples of shirts that are out there, but
I have mine.
All the orders that I do now are all custom jobbers, small batches, that kind of thing. So I mean, Super Auto, if you're out there and you're thinking, hey, look, I'd like to have a bunch of shirts that said, eat my shorts, on the inside, let me know. We can definitely do that.
I will publicly confess right now that, when you're ready to go, this is a platform for me. I know that, Curmudgeon's Corner usually reaches like 40 people live and then maybe 100 people after the fact. But whatever you need, whenever you need it, Phoenix is there for you, man. So yeah, I think you're spot on. I think your focus should be on Paris, and then and I will definitely support your wife in any endeavor that she's on. But until then, let's kill some spiders in Paris. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah.
All right. So at this point of the stage, we're now at 3 hours and 4 minutes. Let's do one last trivia question, give away some free stuff. I think it's important. EC details. I really appreciate you coming out and watching the show. I do appreciate you coming here and supporting us, support my brother, supporting Phoenix. What can we do as far as trivia questions are concerned? I'm not sure. I guess the answer is 5 punches. That's exactly right. Adrian, you win. You win
Adrian, you win big.
You win a Peleus panel prep, Adrian, for 5 punches. Oh, that is so good. I'm writing that down.
Why 5 punches, you ask? I don't know. It's just what came to mind.
Yeah, everybody wanted to know why 5 punches. Like most people would have gone with like, give me your best punch, knock me down in 1 punch, knock me down in 3 punches.
I didn't want him to have any excuses.
This guy goes.
In my heart, he wasn't going to be able to do it. Him and 10
the
guys
answer is
knock me down.
The answer is use your left. The answer is use your left. You are truly Eric the Terrible, aka Trainwreck, Major Trainwreck. Oh my gosh, this guy! What a guy! Doug, I feel bad for you for next week because you have to follow in this guy's shoes. Oh, what a dude! Everybody, give him a follow, give him a like. Major Trainwreck at Major Trainwreck on IG. If you have any questions directly that you want to talk to him about, his shoe size, his sleeping positions, whatever it is that you want to talk to him. Major Train.
Which one do you want to talk about?
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? Oh my gosh. 55 eggs. Why did you have to say 55 eggs? Eric, I love you. As much as I think you're a pain in my ass, I love you. Out of all the brothers that I have in this world, you are one of them. I mean, what I meant to say was you're my favorite, and
likewise.
I want to give something away, but I can't think straight with the amount of apple juice that's coursing through my veins.
Hey, maybe we can do one of these. We can give one of these away.
Oh shit! I mean, shoot. Yeah. Okay. So anybody that knows anything about what he just showed. What's wrong with the address, the website, bro? What? I don't understand. What website are you talking about? That is a coin that is given to. Well, Eric, you explain it. I heard you explain it once, and I could not explain it.
Okay, so military challenge coins is a history going back to like Legion days, but the modern one is that units will carry a unit challenge coin. Especially, individuals in a unit will carry that unit's challenge coin to social events. And the idea is you get to the bar, you drop your coin on the bar, and everybody else better be dropping coins because the guy or the guys or the people that show up without their coin, they get to buy the round. So it can get pretty expensive depending on the size of the unit and that kind of thing. And then to further add to the fun and the festivities of it, in addition to unit coins, then you have individual coins. And depending on your job or your role or your rank, you might have your own coin. And the idea behind it is you're in a position to oversee a situation, maybe give an inspection, that kind of a thing. And you see something that's noteworthy, but you're not going to write them up for a medal or some kind of crazy award or anything like that. But you can give an on-the-spot kind of an attaboy coin to a person, and it would be something that, hey, look, Marine, you did a good job, or sailor, or whatever, good job. Here's a coin. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. And you present it in a handshake. And it's just a token that a person can carry with them, add to a collection if they had a few of them. But it's a way to increase morale and to show appreciation. There's a major Trainwreck challenge coin that Aaron's holding up. But how it works is I can tell you all about that. Whoever wins it, I'll tell you personally about it. But how it works is there's a hierarchy of coins. So maybe like you have a first sergeant that gives you a coin. Well, you drop that one on the bar. Boom. Oh, wow. First sergeant's coin. That's pretty good deal. Well, the guy comes up and goes, you know what? I've got a sergeant's major coin. Boom. Drop that on the table. Well, he trumps you with the sergeant major coin. Oh, well, dude comes up and he goes, I got a colonel's coin. Oh, well, suck it, big boy. I've got an admiral's coin. Oh, I've got this coin. I've got that coin. It goes all the way up. Secretaries of the different branches, Secretary of Defense, Vice President, President, and then the king dingling of all coins is the Oval Office coin. So the Oval Office coin can be tied, but it can't be beaten. That's Aaron's showing an example of my coin. What's on the back again? I'll tell you all about it, and this the significance and why that's very sentimental to me, and why it's a big deal when I give them out. But anyway, this is my coin, the Major Trainwreck coin. The giveaway, it says Major Trainwreck right on the front there, and yeah, for supporting Curmudgeon's Corner and Phoenix E.O.D. You're directly, indirectly supporting me, and whoever wins, whatever the next giveaway or whatever Aaron decides.
All right, so then the question is, what year did Major Trainwreck bring home the gold medal from the Invictus Games? That's the question. To win this coin, what year did Major Trainwreck win the gold medal for the Invictus Games in London, England? 1994. Sorry, HM, you are incorrect.
94? I haven't been to Cripple Kid that long. Holy smokes.
97. You're incorrect. I don't know how many times are we going to let HM guess. Like 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Yeah, exactly. For Christmas, Eric, I'm getting you a webcam, and therefore I will only have him on for stories one at a time. Exactly. 96. No, you're incorrect. I'm sorry, Humberto. You lose. Whoever wants the coin that I'm holding in my hand right now, call in or text in with the appropriate number. That is the year that he won. Nope, Keith, I'm sorry. For the first time ever in your life, you are wrong. Superado, nope. Sorry. It was a good try. Negative. Very specific. When the Google search Invictus Games London is the first time that you will be able to win this coin. And then as soon as you win this coin, I'm done. I'm going to go upstairs and pass out.
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. I got hurt in 2012. It was after that.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if you even want the coin, you might not want the coin. If you don't want the coin, who cares?
If you don't want the coin, keep guessing wrong answers.
Yeah, Eric sucks, and I wouldn't want to be associated with it anyway. So far, nobody has won. Riggs, oh, so close. So close. There he is. All right, Riggs is the first person to win.
Good job, Riggs.
All right, Riggs, send me an email of your contact if you haven't bought from me before. Right here. Give me your contact information. Aaron at Phoenix E.O.D. PhoenixEOD.com, and I will send you a Major Trainwreck super coin because you're awesome. Appreciate you guys. Doug, you were so close. Doug, you were so close. Doug, oh, so how does it feel to be so close yet so far away? Keith Firebird, 2024 is when he's going to win the Paralympic gold medal in Paris. You silly Knigget. Gary. Oh, yeah, Gary. Okay, I got you, Gary. Gary, I got you, buddy. You got a Phoenix E.O.D. Certified ceramic installer certification coming to you. I saw your email today. I didn't have a chance to respond to you, Riggs. I'm so sorry, but I did see it, and I'm going to email you with the specifics of getting you certified. I think you've met the requirements. If not, you're right there. But Riggs, yeah, definitely going to get you hooked up with this coin and your ceramic coatings. So yeah, Riggs is a big supporter of Phoenix E.O.D. He knows what he's doing. He's been installing some ceramics, and he knows what is happening. I appreciate you guys. You're right, Keith. You can't win them all, thank God, because other people need a chance. But I got Keith winning twice today. I have to check on Superado on his panel prep. And now we have the coin going to Riggs. All right, everybody, that's 3 hours and 15 minutes coming in from Phoenix E.O.D, the live stream on a Saturday night. Still have 11 people hanging out with us. You guys are awesome. I could not do this without you guys. As far as what we talked about with the pay it forward wheel, the wheel of woe. I could not do this without you guys at all. So again, they send pay it forward nominations to info@phoenixeod.com. Next week we have Doug from Detail It. His Instagram is to Detail It. If you want to get a hold of him, he's going to be on next week at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, ushering in week 4 of the Pay It Forward campaign. We want to encourage everybody to nominate somebody and really make this a blessed holiday season. Eric, Trainwreck, we thank you so much for coming on the show with us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I am a little trashed. Sorry for that. I have cotton mouth. Everybody, thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us. You guys are awesome. I can't appreciate you guys enough. Good luck tracking down and reuniting with Sergeant Major Alvarez. It's exciting. It excites me to find. It excites me like finding my birth mother and birth father and their families at 50 and 54 years old. Superado, we are going to unpack that a lot later next week. Again, Doug, I look forward to hanging out with you next Saturday. I can't think of a better way that I want to spend my Saturday night. I hope you guys feel the same way. Come on down to Curmudgeon Corner 19, hang out with me and Doug and everything Phoenix related, and make somebody's holiday season absolutely blessed, because that is what we are all about. Thanks, you guys. Talk to you. See you next Saturday.
Trainwreck in Paris 2024.